Hello, I am Brenda Jean Power, Medicine Woman, and this is from Medicine Woman Solution. So I forgot the volume was on the thing, and then I was going to sneeze, and then I kept hearing this repeat, and I'm like, I'm not doing that. So yes, I am. Yes, I am. So give me a second. Just if things are not right, things are correct, things are really weird. Hold on. Okay, doing my best to get in sync with myself. A lot of different things. Okay, and I feel alone, but I'm not. Hello, Melody, Miranda, Nancy, Kelly. Hello, hello, hello. Excellent, excellent. Well, we're going to have a great show today. Spirit has really, I want to say last night it was like, I live it, breathe it, walk it, talk it, dream it. Well, last night I was downloading and channeling. So I was downloading code and then I was interpreting it, but I was saying it out loud and then I was saying it in my head. And I realized that I had done that for about an hour. And I'm like, did I sleep or didn't I sleep? I don't know. It was the weirdest thing. But totally know what I'm going to be talking about today. With the Academy, one of the things we're doing is you have to start out with the basics. Been really asking the question, how do I get you to be able to function in this new level of consciousness, to help you get to the stage where I'm at, to help you get to the stage of where you don't have to be. That old level of consciousness was a lot about suffering. And it's not hardwired, it was an option. Because we were so conditioned for it, we've done it so many times. It's like when you have a nice sheet of paper and there's nothing, and then you write and you write and you write on the same spot. It just kind of gives this embossed feeling. It's like how you read Braille, right? Well, I started laughing at that because in my mind there was like, it's sticking out. You're reading it. It's sticking out. You're reading it. It's not just chemical peptides. It's like you're reading it when it comes to other people and different parts of your soul. And I'm like, really? What are you talking about? And again, I'm sleeping, people. And they just, they kept reminding me all night long so that they were firing and wiring it inside my brain so that I could really teach you. And sometimes it just amazes me. So to get you to start off to understand, there is a basics, simple basics that we all need to know. So first of all, people come to me and they go, oh, I want to learn what you're learning. Well, first of all, I need some feedback. What do you think you see? What do you see? What do you see on me that you've learned or want to learn? Or give me some feedback so we can communicate. I think in order for me to understand how to translate what they want, I have to understand your voice. I got a lot of red on my face today. I'm not sure why. I heat. I look funny. Quit looking, Brenda. Okay. Let's see what we have here. Learn to heal myself. Good, good. Source point healing. Excellent. So it's empowering and so it's helping you learn. And what about health? Have you guys, I don't expect you to be at the show every day or every time, but what have you learned about hells and hell loops? Because those are embossed, those are embroidered. We think that hell is a place to go. It's not, it's a state of mind. And they really want you to help you understand. Okay, she says, true ways to heal inner child. Yes, because once you can learn how to communicate with your inner child, it's not a foreign thing. And shadow work, definitely shadow work. Hell sucks, exactly. And when you are not using a tool, meaning you're not communicating with your innate, you are not working with the energy of this magnificent self that you beam yourself into every day upon awakening, you the old way is fire and wire. The old way is to be in that level of consciousness of suffering. And that's around the 100 and between 150 below is stress, and it's about the level of consciousness of self-suffering. We want to get you to self-actualize. As you begin to self-actualize, you begin to understand that it's not this or this or this. It's because you go boom, boom, boom. And when you start to go from one extreme to the other, eventually you can stop the hell loops and you can understand karma action. And when you start understanding karma action, there's a set of peace that, it just becomes a natural benefit. Now, there's a long way to go if you didn't use tools, but if you learn tools like hope therapy or OMG, OMG is this, hope therapy is if we tap into the meridians and communicate with your source, your meridians, these are the pulse points. And when you put the combination together, you get to tap into helping the body, working with the body, listening to the body. So the body, mind, and then the soul gets to work together. And what happens is that if you can understand the differences about the chemical peptides of how your brain sees reality. So if you are not using a tool and you have seen the signature of like disappointment, a lot of people will run around going, I'm so disappointed in you. How do you train your kids? How does your teacher? How do people? It's like, how do you communicate that's not the way I want it done, or that's not the way that the book says, or that's not the way? Is there a way we can teach people without having to make them feel like a piece of shit? We've, since World War II, our heart chakra has opened up. The communications or the beautiful levels that we have opened up with. Now, people get really confused when it comes to chakras, but one of the things about it is that their level of consciousness, which means if your life is not healthy, chances are it'll have to be the first three chakras that are nesting together. They're learning, they're growing, they haven't really involved the heart, or maybe they just started to involve the heart but not really understand how to communicate, which is your fifth. And when you begin to understand the chakras on a conscious level, that the growth of your soul, and you read it as a book, then you have to understand that there's 4 ingredients: the physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. And the physical doesn't have to be in this hellish loop, except for it's a spiritual issue, because we have traveled through time with the mental and emotional, and we learn how to create. Now we create through all of the dimensions, and those dimensions flow freely through in and out of your body to create this existence. Now you don't need to know all that. It's helpful, and that's what the Academy will eventually teach you. But we get stuck in these hell loops. We are there for a particular reason. We are learning how to awaken. What's unconscious can become conscious. And what we didn't know, which is incompetent, we can have competency. We can learn to grow. And it's within to understanding why to, oh. And when you hit that other part, there's a sense of peace. Okay, so when you're healing yourself, you are using tools to help your body, mind, and soul to work together to break those hell loops. But you can't just break the hell loops. You have to work with your future selves. These are your runners. They go around and they know the best for you. It's you, your younger selves, and you. There's, nobody else is responsible for them. You are. And these are parts of you that want to evolve. Okay, so you really don't even know how you're even talking to yourself. But if you can understand the basics, and that's what I want to talk about, is the basics. So hello everybody. So what I want you to understand, if you're going to come to the Academy, you can't come in with just the knowledge you already have. There's going to be beautiful people that have in-depth knowledge, have gone here, gone there, gone there. My job is to help you self-realize, to self-actualization. My job is to help you see, wherever level you're at, help you see behind the veil, to help you see what's right there, because you have everything that's there. But if your goal is to awaken, to get out of the matrix, to evolve, you have to understand the recipe of life includes the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. And these need to be matured. And when one matures, it has to wait for the rest. And eventually you got all 4 ingredients. Now, so if you're going to make this delicious cake, you're going to want the right ingredients, the kind that you like, the kind that represents you. So you got to move from what you think your identity is and move into the nature of who you really are as that spiritual, soulful being. That's why we call it moving into the becoming a spiritual human. And if you can learn to heal and grow, you can become an ASH, A-S-H, an ascended spiritual human. First, you start off as a spiritual human. You don't know what that is, but you start to realize, okay? So when you take and you say, all right, I want to heal myself, that's just a tiny fraction. I have people come to me and their heads, the energies in the body are like the body's messengers going, oh my God, we're telling the story, we're doing this, and the brain's going, okay, signal, but you're not the brain. The brain is just the computer. You program that computer, but the mind wants to communicate. Your consciousness self, your authentic self, wants to communicate with every part of you. But if you're not connecting with your own identity, your own authentic self, you're off running around with scissors with this character, that character. There's nothing wrong with that. But people come to me and I'll say, okay, we'll do a little soul coaching, which is you're responsible to measure where you're at, thinking, feeling, all of that, what kind of content, and then I'll have you rub your source points. I will have you just balance out, maybe use a magnet, because every story has a magnetic field that holds your story. And the electromagnetic field is that you have to go and decide and understand the magnetics is emotions and your thoughts are electrical. So you have to become in harmony at some point. So when people are going, that's rub, they're rubbing and they're rubbing and they're rubbing. And then they're like, oh, well, that was quick. And I said, what? And usually what's the first thing you guys notice when you do rub those points? What is the first thing you notice? Once I get you to look at it, because a lot of people are like, yeah, that happens. No, don't disregard it. Don't devalue it. Wake up to see it. Your mindsets create your heaven or your hell. Your mindsets. So please give me some feedback. If you've ever worked with me and I rubbed your points, can you remember? The brain fog goes away. And see, you start to measure the parameters. You look at your health. And once you start to notice that you don't have to believe your health or believe the way you feel, the way you think, the question is when you go, oh man, do you really have to believe and act and be that? Or can you dismantle that program and say, well, I want peace, happiness, and joy. What would that look like? Anybody else? Because a lot of people are like, oh my God, I feel so much better. I relaxed. I feel more light. My head feels better. I can think again, clarity. But what's the important point of this? It has nothing to do with me. You cleared me and my nerves so fast, it prepared me for surgery for resting at home now. Congratulations, you got that pin in and you're going to be on the mends. Yay! Quality and thoughts. The quality of thoughts. Yes, the quality and the quantity, because if you don't really get to see with your spiritual self the quality, the content, any of that, because those 41 thoughts per minute, if you are telling the same story within that 1 minute and you've done it for 60 minutes without a healing tool, what do I teach you guys? You fired and wired. What does that mean? Lorraine says, I faced my inner child of 5. Yes. I can see the stories without a filter. Yes. And when you begin to understand filters, then again, you will not be falling for the false sense of reality or the false sense of self or that false sense. It feels so freaking real. But you need to become the owner of your soul. You need to take that pen back. You need to decide what script you want to write. And it's hard at first because you don't understand the basics. But I want you to divide up and say, wait a minute, this is ego. This is spirit. Not good or bad, choices. And when you calm that part of the brain that starts to really produce those chemical peptides that you're addicted to, oh, wait a minute, I get the power of choice again. And when we really decide to use like the Success Hope Therapy, you're going, oh my God, all the story, oh my God, the investment, how much emotions. And when I have you do this, your body doesn't really need me to guide you. It'll take longer if you chose a point, but there's a rhythm that and so I read those stories. I know exactly where to have you go. I know exactly what you're saying and feeling. At those, they're snapshots. They're very, it's because that's where you're focusing. You deleted the story and generalized everything else. That little spot that doesn't allow you to have self-actualization. But we have to get there. So when you start to learn about yourself, the basics is, I need you to take control of those chemical peptides. I need you to know what stance you need to go in. Oh my God, I'm in doubt. Like in karate, star step, strike. I'm doubt. Just put your hand there, rubbing the points, and I can calm down and return to being the author of my own story. I don't have to believe the fake timelines I have created when I was not my authentic self. Beautiful. Yes. Okay, that bird outside, he was making these weird, strange sounds. I thought, what's going on? And now I hear him screaming bloody murder outside. He's mad about something. And I gets the other bird going, and they're not in danger. It's just that they have actually a bitch session. And I swear to God, they sit out there and just say, I don't like this other bird. No, neither do I. And I think they literally, they're human. So I've got 3 birds that just don't like each other. And then the 2 get together and they gossip. And they're learning how to protect themselves so eventually down the road, you're going to learn about social intelligence, and animal kingdom can tell you so much. I mean, a lot. So let's see what else we got here. So what do you think the basics are? Because it isn't just, because some people come to me and they will have their wounds. They have every right to have those wounds. They have every right to tell their story. They have every right to reach out. Why do they come to a psychic? If they didn't have the healing tools and they didn't have somebody like me teaching it, why would they go to a psychic? What is the basic thing they want? Life to make sense? Oh, answers to the uncertainty. Tell me what your opinion is. Because tribal is getting deeper. Tribal is not just tribal anymore, because now it's going to be the main foundation to get your feet wet, go from learning everything to little things. They want answers and guidance. And like talking to the dead, you want to know what? I want my nerves to calm down because I can't stop feeling the loss. But if you ask them to work on the loss, they'll say, no, I just need answers. To learn how to self-soothe is what you teach us. Yes, self-soothe and self-regulate. Now, the self-regulation is going to take a little longer, but if you can do that first step, thank you, self-soothe. Very, very important to know what will happen to them in the future. And this is a thing, yeah, it's an anxiety. Part of like 150 hertz below, that's stress and hell itself. And we can't self-actualize if we're going to hold those patterns. So there are stages to getting out. And that is where I want you to understand how spirit is setting it up so that you can see where you're at. It isn't about going, oh, let me see what color belt you have. I'm going to judge and I'm going to be whining and I'm going to, no. You don't need a sour grape. That's part of self-regulation and healing. But you can take and you open the catalog of life and go, ooh, look at all the colors. Ooh, I want to achieve this. Now, how many people have gone out there on their spiritual journey and just become, you guys have heard me say it. What do I call them? Ultra spiritualists. That they see this, they want to attain it, and then they act it, but they don't embody it, and they don't walk as sacred and talk sacred. And they can make themselves look like it, be proud and say, I'm there. Do you understand what I'm saying? So there's steps, there's stages. And if you can really radiate it out, not just say it, not just look it, you need the whole sensory package. And when your soul is finally demonstrating it, like this is where you go down and the further down the line, and it's learning to rise out of that lower consciousness. It isn't about the players and the characters and the enemies, because when you're in this stage, you realize there is no enemy. And when you can heal out just that, there is no enemy. Your codes begin to change in the way you see, hear, feel, and be. You start to move towards that center of there's an enemy to, no, you start to heal it out. You start to, then all of a sudden you start to realize that you can be fluidity and you can find that part of peace that they could be. If I was in that mindset, yeah, I can call you an enemy. I can know how to stand up to them. And I'm proud of it. Yes, we used to be very proud because we had to survive. We had to look like, like my birds last night, the strange noises. I'm like, seriously? And my husband's going, well, and some of the maneuvers they were doing, I'm like, I've never seen that before. And, the puffery, you look at me, you got to be scared of me first. Or you don't threaten me, but look at me. And it's like, whoa, what do we got? Ooh, Kelly used a big word. I got to have my glasses on to see this. Ooh, Claire delusional. Those Claires. It's kind of funny. But we're not trying to slam ultra spiritualist. I was there at one point. We all have gone to these levels of awakening to understand it. You get that code to go to the next, get that code to go to the next. So it's not about them. It's just that if you can see them, okay, are you one? Can you see them? Have you understood that you're different now? It's like, it's part of that self-consciousness, but this is more of a self-awareness. Okay, just bear with me. When you're growing up, you're little, it's you, mom, you, outside. Oh shit, the outside's looking at me. What? No. Oh, you become very self-conscious. Oh my God. And so then it's like you're being watched. Okay, that's that first level of what happens in quantum theory, is that this wave is just doing whatever it wants, and then it's looking at me. Oh, turn into a particle. Let's change itself. And do you know that when people change their behavior when the camera's on, they don't show the fear, they don't show anything else. They hide these things because they think that thing that's looking at them is judging them so harshly. They don't know how to help self-soothe and self-regulate. Oh my God. So do you understand? You're just a quantum field. Can you see it? Did I paint the picture so you could see that? You're just the quantum field, but you have your own signature. So what does that mean? That means that you can start to not just become self-conscious as a human. You become self-aware as, oh, holy shit, I do that. Holy shit, I did that. It's not the hot seat anymore. It's an honor seat. Hot seat is when the ego goes in there and goes, oh my God, self-conscious, oh my God. Oh, camera's on. You don't do this. Because there's a fear of judgment. When you move into to discernment, you move into another state. So this quantum field is recognizing itself. And when it recognizes, because the soul is a recorder, and when the spirit and the consciousness begins to recognize itself, and it looks at and sees something else, it's creating particular particles. Creating particular particles, but it's creating particular parameters so that it can go from here to there and know it's been there to here. Yeah, that makes sense. To and fro, whatever. The point is, you're moving from self-conscious to self-aware. And when you're in the self-aware, you do not have to be, oh my God. You're going to go in and go, wait a minute. I don't like these feelings. Now, we gathered. That was part of the involution. We gathered. Now we're in the transition of, oh, no. And the transitioning means you're kicking in your evolution ability that we had shut down to get as far as we got. So I want to move you to what? Self-awareness. Truly understand the definition of self-awareness. You need to understand the quantum field. I'm hoping I explain it. Did people get it? If you've got it, put it into your words so other people can hear it at the frequency to which they think and speak and hear, because we are all on a sensory space. I'm not kidding. I want to hear you paraphrase. Why? 1, it holds your ahas. 2, you fire and wire and you won't forget and go back to hell. You're starting to get this. Remember, the particle is after it's been looked at. So as the wave is just being a wave, and it's the superpositioning, everything and all things at once, it's all there all the time. It's doing whatever. There's all these opportunities, all of these choices, until it's observed. And when it's observed, it knows it. It becomes very much, something's watching me. What will I become, as it says? Because it's to which the observer kind of has the thoughts, the patterns and things that are being, that kind of carry another code that says, go from a wave to a particle, and do it to the blueprints that of where I am at, my level of consciousness, to where I'm at, so I can understand it. Now, if I'm sitting there hating on you, I'm going to be looking for evidence, right? So in the quantum field, if I'm looking and I'm with hate and I'm in that state and I'm thinking and I've zeroed in, that wave will turn into a particle to support and be aligned with the frequency of my mind and my heart. If my heart is hurt, it's not going to be about love. So heart math is involved. Yay, Kelly. In the quantum field, anything is possible. Absolutely true. And once something is observed, it changes just how, and once you know, you can't go back, kind of thing, like webs of lines. Very good. See, this is part of the consciousness. As we start working with the false self, okay, so it's the over-identification matter. So as we, okay, they're saying back up the boat. You beam yourself in, you delete, distort, and generalize all of this information, come in, you zero in on your story and your theme and all of this, okay? Now, if you're not awake, you're going to be 90% of the thoughts that you were the day before. And you will have to see it another way. How creative can you be about seeing how, about what victimization looks like? Because see, there's general topics, general archetypes. We have 4, all of us do. We all have the child with many faces. the victim, the saboteur, and the prostitute. And it ain't about sex, people. Just begin to notice this. But we also seem to have, let's back up the boat. So as we observe, it's according to what we decide that is the outcome is going to be. It's the end game. Okay. If you were in kindergarten and all you knew was a little bit, would you be able to think like a grad student? Could you pull in information like a grad student? No. It's there, but you're not aligned to it. So as you move forward, when you are being your quantum field self and you're experiencing, and you put on the mask of the emotional body, the mask of the mental body, you begin to, as a spirit, figure it out. You create, you feel. And if it feels good, you may keep it. If it feels bad and it's scary and you can't get out of it, you may keep it. That's called over-identifying with matter. But the spirit, how are we going to see this? In the land of illusion. So we put on these avatars, and these bodies will, before you can self-actualize, the body's going to be the reminder. Oh, I can't seem to do this. And my body takes on an ache and pain. Oh, ego land, my body's sick. I can't do this. No, spiritual land is my body is doing this. So I'm preventing myself from doing that. Why? What do I need to see? What do I need to heal? What do I need to do? So as a spirit, you're playing with the mental, emotional, and the physical bodies. You're playing with it. What happens next? You have to have a playground. And this is an away station. The earth is this part of, we're not going to get into that, it's too deep. You're here. You open those eyes, you become conscious, okay? Consciousness, and then you have the subconscious mind, which is my body, but you become conscious. But if you become conscious with your authentic self, you will see what you attract in. Yeah, no, yes, no, yes. We have that ability to decide. We're going to make something we call a cookie. We don't know what that is, but we're going to say, we're going to say we can eat it. Got it. We're going to, what's that? Oh, yeah. So we find out that the edible stuff, and we're learning, the things that are not edible. I'm going to take this. I'm going to grind it up. Ooh, made flour. Okay, good. So we're playing around, and then we're like, we'll take this. It's brown. Okay, throw it in. And we go to realize that when we picked up these little things that look like chocolate chips or raisins, ew, they're dung or they're bugs or they're, no. I've learned, don't touch that. Find me something else. But what did we do over time? Over time, we did what? Oh my God. We've over-identified with matter, which pulls us further out of our spiritual self. We've put in a foundation that we cannot get to communicate as our spiritual selves. Throughout time, and I'm not the only one that thinks this. Go to Bruce Lipton. I found somebody that's thinking the way I'm thinking, and it's like, yes, okay. And he found the pattern. I could feel it, but he found the pattern. And I'm like, yes, we're ready. So throughout time, one of the things we did was we took spirit out of matter. And we made that matter, right? By over-identifying with it, by being it, minus spirit, our false self. We thought if we took the spirit out of how we are using this avatar, let's see what happens. Well, there is no connection. There is no energy flow. You cannot bring in your song all the way because you've over-identified with matter. You've created an ancestral, what do they call it? Ancestral something. Anyways, ancestral and culture are ready to heal those lines. They call, curse, that's what they call them. And we're ready, but we forgot how. Now, there are people like me. They're salt and peppered all over the world. And our job is to remember, because nothing's new, people, but we need to remember. And we have to move from, and if you understand the 4 stages of competency, so it's the stuff you don't know, you need to know to grow. And then when you start to see it, okay, you're like, ooh, I can see it, and I'm still not competent with it. And eventually you're going to be what's called conscious incompetence. And then you're going to go from unconscious incompetent to conscious incompetent to I'm going to, I now am conscious competence. And then you move to another stage, which is like the guru stage, where what do they call it? Prodigy children or something that they don't know how they know, but they know. So then they move to unconscious competency. We are now, I want to do this. I want to wake up. So I'm going to remember how I'm waking up, and I'm going to share it with others so we can start passing out the codes and the keys so we can get ourselves out of this hell. We want to be done with this hell loop. All right. Can you hear me? Is this thing on? Ooh. Nikki says we have an experience as we feel the emotions as we use our evolution. Yes. We understand we are losing our power. Yes. More into becoming spiritual investigators. Yes. That's yes. Why am I having this feeling to this experience? These are the questions. If you were using a tool, we kick cloudy thinking out and start seeing the authentic reasoning to the experience. Yes. Good. See, this is how we kind of like know how we know, but we don't know we know. And as we begin to understand how we did it and observe that and awaken, then we can see how we did it and say no, makes it so it's about choice now. So let's go a bit further. Oops, we have a wound that's connecting us to the experience, yes, which has to go down the memory lane to retrieve where we originally lost the power of that emotion, yes. Therefore, we understand the emotions we are thinking or think others are creating for us. Oh my God, yes, because you see, we have to have that mirror because what do I tell? You want to become a bystander, but you can't really become a bystander. You can for others. You're the third party for them. But if you can begin to learn how to do it with yourself and see the bigger picture on the story, you can wake up faster because it's not about just taking the knowledge. It's about healing and applying it and allowing yourself to evolve. Let's see what she's got. Therefore, we understand the emotions we think others are creating for us are actually ours. Yes, when you hit that mirror and you're like, you're being mean. Well, you're being mean. Well, I just want to have freedom. Well, I just want to have freedom. Wait, what? We're saying the same damn thing. How about if we take the third option and do it together? The only way to really do that is you have to clear out your maneuvers. And a lot of people are like, no, that's my tool and I'm going to use it. And if I want to manipulate people, because there's nothing wrong with that, people are doing it. Well, those are people that they're asleep. And in that way, we understand no one is our enemy. Correct. We are our worst enemies, holding onto experiences from the past and being them to the present and future. We are the creator of our reality and the controller of how we react to all situations. Yes. Good paraphrasing. She's getting it. Now, anybody else? Did you get it? You may want to read it because sometimes my brain does not see like it should. But get it. We are sharing words here so that if you didn't understand it, did it make sense when she said it? We need translators. Sometimes I need translators. Okay. So we have an Amy Patterson. Hi, honey, haven't seen you in a long time. But anyway, just wanted to knows that I recognize you there. Okay, so again, you guys, you beautiful women, you whatever pronoun we choose to use, you spiritual souls are ready to become that first step, a spiritual human. But how do you get that? And that's what we're learning. So why do I do the readings? Why? There's so much to teach. Spirit likes to talk. Spirit likes to teach. Spirit wants you to experience. It wants to have you experience what it feels like to get out of hell. The doors are always open. The chains are always off. Hell is actually your own prisoner state that you haven't been able to process those emotions. And so we will get locked in time, and we will repeat it and repeat it and repeat it, that slowly that piece of paper starts to raise up. And then all of a sudden you can like read Braille. You'll feel it. Okay. And you won't know it. You will be such in the guru state, in the ego mindset. And it'll feel like truth. Holy shit. I need to teach you guys how to do truth testing in a very healthy manner. I'm not sure what the noise is out there. I hope everything's okay out there. I just have a lot of noise. It sounds like something fell off my wall. I hope everything's okay. So, does that concern me? A little. Because I think my husband's gone and there's only birds. So did the bird, okay, I'm going to put, hey, right away, talk, you guys, everything's great. I want to hear it and read it when I come back. Bear with me while I go and check to make sure there's nothing going on out there in the, what you call it, okay? I'll just be right back. All right. It's all good, people. You know how, when you do dishes and you put them and stack them and so it becomes like Jenga? You know the game Jenga? So, yeah, I don't know what happened. All I know is that birds are fine. They're all in their places. But the dishes decided to, so, I don't know. Do we have ghosts out there? Non-fleshies. Playing Jenga with my dishes. I don't know, but everything's picked up. It's okay. We're all good. I'm just glad everything's okay. Good. Nita says it's making sense. Excellent. She okay. So so I want to address this beautiful person that's in that's in there. It's in the, what do you call it? The chat room. Sweetheart, that's the chemical peptides speaking. You know, she feels like she's behind, but that's the chemical peptides. The chemical peptides of the condition of our youth, the things that we had to look at. The chemical peptides are responsible for you feeling that way. You're in your hell loop. You got to learn that if you want out of the hell loop, it's going to take a lot of work. When people get mad at me, it's because they don't want and they don't know how, and that their hells have sucked them in, and that they don't want to be sucked in, but yet at the same time, your story that you've played in your quantum field is going to come into your face, and it's going to ask you, can you step up within yourself? It's not pretty. It's very scary, but this is why the tribe, we're there to support, but we're not there to save you. We're not there to be, you know, so when people come in and they want other people to save them, we want to empower you to see it differently so you can save yourself. Some of these hell loops will make us hold up all the excuses and the reasonings. They're ugly. But at the same time, when you get to see that they are done with fear, that they're created with fear, that fear has you, and fear is in control. The question is, do you have what it takes to conquer it? Every single person I've met, yes, even the ones that have been going through the very stronghold of hell, your journey will take a little longer. But I've seen people turn around. We have to tap into the urge. You have to find that urge of your soul going, I'm coming up for air. I want something more. And I know you have it, because if you didn't, you wouldn't be with me. That's one of the energy conditions that Spirit had said, is that if you're going to be on this journey with me, it's because the urge energy has turned on. And I want something more than this. But sometimes we get so caught up in this, we can't see it. But that's what the healing does. That's what you getting in power, that you can do this. That damn thing that's spinning, just stick your finger in it and make it stop. Push on it. And it's usually when we feel like we can't fight back. But when you can start to see little tiny words, little tiny things, those become like the steps that help you get out of your hell. And you're like, but I'm in a hole. How do I get out? You slowly start chunking at the dirt, make a step. Chunk at the dirt, make a step. Chunk at the dirt, make a step. And eventually the hole underneath will be filled up. So you understand what I mean, right? You understand what I mean? This is how Spirit told me one time and said, we're going to get you to that next stage. And I said, okay, I don't know what it is, but sure, why not? So like, this is a hole. Okay, I'm in the hole. I'm down here. Oops, I'm down here. I'm like, I can't get out. But if I start chunking away at this part that I can reach, then that will start to come out. Okay, this is weird. And then next thing you know, the dirt will be down here. Okay, and then slowly as I start to come up, I can climb up onto the next step. Okay, start chunking away at this stuff, chunking away at this stuff, and eventually then that will go down, and then I get to go higher. And then slowly that this will come down, we create another step, and we create another step, and we create another step. You're eventually going to have enough dirt underneath you so you can just step out. Did that make sense? But you can't see hope, and you can't pull in that. Okay, so what there are is these fluid. When you start to understand fluidity, there's these in the quantum fields. I look at them and I see them as flows. Okay, these are levels of thoughts, inventions, like if this was business, then it would be a topic there. If this is relationship, it's a topic there. And these are the flows. So as I was waking up, I said, I can't do this. I can't do this. And I learned to surrender to the God outside of me. And then I realized I have the God inside of me. Because I was into religion, it was like, no, I was blessed. So I started tapping into the blessing that's already mine. That's forever. So it was like a drinking fountain for me. So I would drink this blessings and I would feel the blessings, and I'm already blessed. Nobody can take that off me. And so then it was like it started to create a foundation. And it was really interesting. And I says, but I can't seem to get to the next step. I can feel this foundation. Spirit said, start chipping away at your fears. So that's when I started to employ EFT, timeline therapy, hypnosis. I learned all those. Neuro-linguistic programming, all those. And what was happening is I was chipping away at the thing that I thought was solid, but was not. And as I chipped away at the emotion that was like the dirt, it started to change everything. So you can dig your way out of a hole. You just have to figure out, well, I don't have a tool. You will be so surprised when you say, Spirit, show me what they can't see. Because usually when you're in that fear state, you feel there's an enemy. Okay, you feel there's an enemy. You train yourself to see something that they can't see. And then lo and behold, Spirit will provide. This is what's called the mandala effect for you. This is why some people say, well, what about that vaccine? What about how the world's going to go to hell in a handbasket? What about this? What about that? And I'm like, what about it? I live in a land called my choice. So I do the mandala effect. How you do the mandala effect, again, goes back to the basics of becoming self-aware, not self-conscious. As I become self-aware, I start pulling in that energy field. And all of a sudden, Spirit will go, hey, did you see this thing? It's glowing. And it's like nobody else sees it. I'll pick it up. Oh my God, this would so work for the thing I'm doing. Oh, that's a miracle. It is, because you shifted your perception. That kaleidoscope of perceptions, perspectives, when you move it, it changes a different picture. If you ever know what a kaleidoscope is, and as you start to shift it, it'll be like, and then all of a sudden it locks into place, and then you'll have this alignment. And a mandala effect will occur for you. The things you thought you knew, a little word may change. A little bit of this might change. I'm driving, I always get groceries, and down this one road, and I was like, gosh, you guys need trees there. And I remember saying it so loudly, you guys need trees there. It's because it's so, we want to count with climate change, you want to add trees. Trees provide that shade. Trees do so many things, even a bush. And little peppers of flowers, don't pick the weeds, don't manicure it away, because those, when I see a patch of weeds or flowers, I'm like, oh, look at the little microclimate. There's some ants, there's some bugs, there's some butterflies, there's bees. Okay, we can't destroy these little micro places. And so anyways, I'm driving down the road. I didn't see it the first time. Very strange. I come back, Spirit goes, look it. And I'm like, shit, they're glowing a different color. Oh my God, it's a mandala. So my brain doesn't see it as scary anymore. No, it sees it as, whoa, how cool. Because the whole strip doesn't have baby trees. That's like a walk-in, okay? So the mandala effect created grown-up trees that weren't planted, but they grew there. I shifted a timeline. I took out things that no longer served. I started to create my world the way I want it. I can see. So when people ask me certain things, it's complicated, but it's simple. I know with the blessings of my soul, my timeline's going to be different. This is why we have so many frequency gaps right now. So right now, Melody, we have to get you to the next stage. And sometimes we have safety blankets that doesn't allow it. If I said, Spirit, can you help this girl? Can you help this beautiful woman? Can you help this beautiful soul? And they said, yes, but she has to start to mend that broken heart. And so I said, okay, so what do you want them to do? And they said, they have to restructure their values. So one of the things that I was going to start having October, November, I'm not sure when, I was going to have the academy class begin, but I have a feeling that I can't, because we have some things that's happened in our world that I don't share my world with people, because it's not because I don't want to, it's because it's not my nature to sit there, and I'm not holding back. It's just, I don't need to exacerbate to make it worse. If I hold the positive and I'm asking Spirit to show me what I can do, then we don't have to go to hell in a handbasket while there's conflict, while there is a transitioning. I don't need to focus on hell to make more of it. So I don't usually share it. And I don't share it. I don't need it. Now, if I was not having the maturity of those 4 parts of myself, like there was that one time I was just extreme shock that how my sister died, that I had to share it. Because I needed a grip on reality. I needed humans that I may have, even if I've never met before, can give me a word of positive support so I can say, oh, hold on, that's the candle, that's the light, hold on, I can get out of this. Now, and again, I don't go waving around the dirty laundry. I don't need the trauma and the drama. I don't play in that field. That's not part of my higher consciousness. Okay, so the program that to help bring you in to help you understand why travel is important is that I was going to do like a boot camp, a free boot camp, particular thing to help people to understand the importance of this, because now the movement is taking another step. And you would have to write your values. What is important to you? Now, when your brain is going 50,000 miles all over the place, it can't write the values, but what is the key thing that can help them awaken? And it's different for everybody. Do you understand? So I would say, okay. If fear is controlling you, it's going to take you down many roads. Okay. If you can wake up and say, wait a minute, I fear something, but do I have to? Is fearing something important to me? So sometimes you have to ask Spirit, show me another way to think. So I said, do you want her to do soul coaching? They said, well, yeah, she can get her mindset right and she can feel the difference. She's done that, but how does she do it so that she doesn't have to go back in and repeat? And that's where you have to understand what's in value to you. Your urge, now you have to start to, you've been led to here or to out of that. Now you have to learn how to maintain it. And that is where self-soothe has to be like your number one tool. Because fear says to help us soothe it, we have to think about it, talk about it, think about it, talk about it, think about it, talk about it. Oh my God, let's play this drama and trauma. This is just repeat. And all I can say is, sweetheart, your heart is broken. I asked, is there a safety blanket around it? Yes. I said, what can we help her do? And they said, well, the encoding of how, and this is stuff that's been read before, this is the stuff. So it's her past. I said, how far past? And they said, okay, so when you understand levels of consciousness, the omega aspect has to do with remembrance of your enlightenment. And I said, could you tell me why are you talking about omega? And they said, the twisted patterning or twisted revenge or twisted, I feel like, I'm just going to say it. I feel like Melody was an angel. Okay. I feel like her starseed self was an angel. And she wanted to say to the storyline of the angel storyline, I'm going to show you, and what little kids will do will show you twisted revenge by hurting themselves and hoping to make you cry. And I feel like she's come to this point in this era to awaken, and that forgiveness is one of the key benefits that you get when you use hope therapy. If you didn't have any other tool, forgiveness is also going to be how you start to break those hell loops. So if I said, well, how do we help her do this? What will she let me do? They said, have her understand that when she is like watching TV and her brain goes into a beta wave. Okay, so it is second in command. It is that hypnosis aspect. And I said, okay. And they said, she needs to be able to just drift in her space. So go down into your sacred room and just allow you to be, knowing that nothing can harm you. Sit there and just kind of start to think about, what is important to me? And if it is that if there's 6 S's, I don't feel safe. How am I not feeling safe? How do I believe it? And then start EFTing. Okay. You've got to get the urge that if there's an enemy around, start doing things that they can't see so that you can get out of it. If you start doing things that they can't see, Spirit is going to provide you because you're graduating, and little things will appear. Like I thought to myself, I don't have any red to go with my red. And I looked over and I'm like, oh, I manifested that. And I didn't even know I made these, but I obviously made these. A friend had sent me this. So when I put myself together in the morning or for the show, Spirit says, we got it all lined up. If not, you'll manifest it in. Okay. So it is like, that's why I go in such detail of the nature of what it means to be human. It says, what can we help her do? She needs to set her priorities. Right now, the priorities set her. So you've got to be willing to find yourself. And the more I keep hearing this broken heart, the more it is, it's not that you can't forgive. It's just that the pain was so real. And it seems to be the chains that bind you, because the thing that is broken you started to move out of this a long time ago, Melody. You just don't know how to find your new story. You do know what your wounds are. As a little girl, to survive, you learned how to use your wounds to get what you needed to survive. Remember, your primal needs were not met. Your wounds were the only way to get things met. There's no shame or blame or any of this. Now that you're moving up and out, those no longer serve. But they are still trying to play out as an adult. And you're like, what am I missing? This is where you have to go in and you have to decide. Do you want the thing that saved you to be the thing that keeps controlling you? When I don't smoke now, but when my boyfriend died, I was lost. Now, I swear to God, never going to smoke, not going to copy those people. But when you can't cope, handle, and deal, and you need life to make sense, your body will say, I have to survive. Because your frontal lobe is active and healthy, it's going to start to push you to do things that you would not normally do because it's trying to survive. It's like when the Freedom Riders were on the bus, and when the people that were attacking the bus threw in smoke bombs, the people were like, no, I cannot get off this bus because I know if I go out there, they're going to kill me for my beliefs and who I am. And so as the smoke started to fill up, your body will just start to, no, and it will literally do its best to pull you to survive. And I can't remember, I was reading, but one of the people, they were like, no, so they jumped to the bottom of the bus, but the smoke was so bad that their body, just the urge was throwing them off the bus and into the crowd to be beaten. Which is the worst of the two evils? When we get to that stage, this is when we are making a different choice. It may not be easy, it may be scary, but if we can start healing out the fears first, then you'll do a mandala effect. You will begin to change your timelines. The paradoxes that you created from your original will start to mend up so you can get on to where you are at. So these patterns and these decisions were there to protect you as a kid. And I said, well, what would be the kind of the first thing that she could look at so that it could break her out of this hell loop? And they said, well, her pattern of blaming. They said, you be an adult, you may not be blamed, you're over here, or something will trigger you and you'll go into that loop. And they said, if you can catch when you're blaming. And then if you go back, you will also hear how they're blaming you and how the filter is they're blaming, and how you as a child that was like, la, 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 me and the outside, me and, oh shit, it's looking at me, became very self-conscious. You began to feel the very nature of the signature of blame, and it wasn't pretty feeling. I said, can she heal out the break now about blame? They said, yes, it's on her nerves. She can clean them off her nerves, but it's more than that. She knows that blame is, where did my happy go? Because of blame. She may not want to visit it. She may feel like she needs to talk about it, be it. Okay. Remember, if you're going to be in hell loop, just the simple of OMG can be a major help. To go deeper on your nervous system, you take L3S. 1, 2, 3. Left wrist, thumb, nice and soft. Fingers. Let that be the only thing you focus on. Your adventure, your quest within this journey, your quest. How do I see the energy of blame? How is blame dancing? Because in the end, it's all energy. Here's me and blame comes over and starts hurting me? Or do I take blame and start hurting others? Do I be lofty? Do I feel it on me? How about if we take the energy of those out, of how you know it, how you wrote it, out, so that you don't let that control you. So as my boyfriend died, I turned to smoking. Oh my God, the hit that it gave my brain that everything was okay. This is why people have addictions, even to emotions. So I said, does she have that same addiction of feeling relief when blame is in place? Yes, because it's part of her identity. You understand? It may not be something she wants to do, but when you are living in a foreign place and you need to ground yourself as a spiritual being If you are in a place that you haven't felt grounded, you're going to be half out of your body. Or you may all be all the way out of your body, but you'll be hooked with your cord, but you will not know how. So when a trauma happens, okay, you can't cope, handle, and deal. You can't even, and the main thing is you want to resolve to evolve. You want to shake it off like wild animals do, and then go back to being, you. But we've held on to it, so we haven't evolved. So what happens in addiction is that you'll be at that point, and your body will throw you into a position. Try that, do this, whatever. You do. Doesn't make logical sense to you. And all of a sudden you get that hit. And it's like, everything's gonna be all right. You feel whole. All your primal needs are met. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And you think it's the very thing that you've taken, or the very thing that you said, the very thing you had to do. Because you don't know any other way to get out. But then it becomes your identity. You don't give a rat's ass about what's going out here or what other people think. You just know that addiction, and see, even if your addiction is to have that pain of an emotion or relationship as the drama bonding, it's about your identity. What you're going to identify yourself with, so you don't feel like you're flying off this planet. I was with my one friend. We were over a place, and she's like, "Oh my God." And then she was literally becoming unstuck from her body. I swear to God. And I'm like, holy shit. I said, you need grounding. So I said, everybody is yelling at her. And I said, take the glass of water. Become mindful that the glass is coming up to your lips. Become mindful of how the water's touching it. Become mindful about how it's hot or cold. Be mindful of where it's going down. Be mindful of where your tongue is when you're taking a drink. Be mindful. And as she started doing that, her consciousness started to come back, and her spirit is like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, I can come back. I can be in this hold. Yeah. This avatar is holding. Yeah. And everything, body, mind, and soul, all of it was starting to be coming into agreement. And then her body, and then she got back into being centered. See, now there's the statement. She says, it's because I'm always wrong. Okay, very good that you are able to hear the content. Now, the very fact that we create life is because it's to do with the belief. If you're with me on this journey, you are a way shower or way seer. You are a beginner. You are a white belt. But you have always been a black belt and beyond, because you have to believe it before you can see it. When we separate spirit from matter, we say, well, I see it, I'll believe it. You can't, as soon as you change your shit and I see it, I'll believe it. But that's not always true either, because if they're a cheetah, like a cat, then they're going to run out of steam, and then they'll show their true colors. That's just one example. But it is in the believing, that's when you start to see it, because your brain will not accept it. Your brain does not want to accept that you're in a new place. Your brain does not want to accept that people have accepted you and loved you, because your story is, that's all I know. So the attraction factor, that's all I know. And as it keeps repeating, that's all I know, is that's where you know. And so this is where you just can use ego. Ego said, oh, look here, this is why. It's because I'm always wrong. Now, how much do you believe that? And is that your identity? Yes. Is it your true identity? No. Is it a mask that you've had to wear? Yes. Was you brainwashed into saying it, believing that as a kid? Yes. So it's not even your truth. No. But you have felt other people tell you this, and so they're grown-ups or they're people that you love, so that must be right. But it's not. It was at the time. You were brainwashed based on how they thought and they felt, and that who they are. And I can guarantee they probably did not have maturity of the emotions, the mental, the physical, or the spiritual. And they're probably running around taking and being addicted to shit, and then throwing their shit around, being narcissist and treating other people like objects and cutting out their heart. But but that's not you. Your heart, your spirit says it's the urge to awaken. It's urge to want more than this. And you're ready to break the family curses. You're ready to break the cultural curse. You're ready. You're ready to come back home, and you can't do it unless you start to realize you can self-actualize. So in the past, I always felt wrong. Notice that she said, felt. There's her believing. How much energy was used to support that? How much energy? 100%, probably spiritual debt. But why did you need to go there? Because again, I feel you were brainwashed. People, you hung around toxic people. Toxic people know how to be that until you wake up and realize, but that's not me. I don't have to believe the way they believe. And when you start to break that, that's why you have to be okay to lose your family and friends, because they are not in the same frame of mind as you are. So you can keep saying the same story. You can keep holding on to that same story. You can, and notice that when people help you, are you saying, help me, but here's my story. Help me, here's my story. Because your brain is saying, here's my story. So if you say, okay, here's my story, but why do I need to believe it? Why do I need to believe it? And you need to question, and it's in your nerves because you're suspicious. You're suspicious that they're going to do it. And so you're trying to protect yourself beforehand. So if you could just take, and I said to you, what do you want to do? And they go, just go back further. You already know that they're going to accuse you. So you're suspicious of what happened. You know that they're going to accuse you. So you're jumping the gun. I'm going to go ahead and already do that. And I'm already figured out. Why? Because it's a learned helplessness. They didn't want you to be independent and grow separate from them. Their pain passed on pain. And we're parents. We're older than 20 years old. Therefore, we know what's best for you. Chronologically, but none of the rest. And this is where, how do we raise children? Now, this is why I'm not blaming anybody, because we've all been there. We're getting up, we're waking up out of that. We're done with that hell loop. Good night, April, hon. But here's this. I can't behave that way. You can't be who you are because they were told that you can't. That's what you need to heal. That's where you need to go. You've got to decide if you want out. If you do, start with R1S. Because it's in the large intestine that says I have to hold the story, R1S. Apply it to everybody, everything. You can get there. You can get there. Okay. All right. So I didn't realize the length of time that I've spent. And so for those, let's see here. All right, so let me just see where we're at. So if we're going, we can just jump into expedites. I was going to tell you about something else while we're waiting. If there's anybody, we're going to do expedites, and then we'll do. If there's anybody here that's new, you get a 2-minute. I just need to know if you're new, and then otherwise, the 1 minutes will happen after the expedites. Let's see. Just make sure you guys have been very helpful. I'll go back and read all that. This knowledge, yes, thank you. It's invaluable knowledge. It is. You're ready. You're ready to wake up. You're ready to get out of that hell loop. So I just want to talk about one more thing. We have to move from vulnerability of pain to healing that so that you can just be you and not have to be fearful of being vulnerable. Okay. One person asked me, okay, now I have a lot of people that write me all the time. And I have a coordinator that writes back. Now, sometimes I will see it. Because this, it's too many people, it's too much stress, too much strain if I'm constantly doing things. So I'm going to answer this one. Otherwise, when you have special questions, Sometimes only 15 minutes for $30 is not a big deal. Okay. That way the energy is put back in, and then it makes me own up to the fact that I'm working. Okay. But when, so somebody says, well, can you tell me about how somebody else is thinking about me? No. And yes. You have to remember the quantum field. Everybody's responsible for their own level of consciousness. How they feel about you is, they may be deeply in love with you, but they can't show it because of the circumstances of how they're living. Okay, that's no way of saying that I just read that person for you. That's just an example. The variables that I see above your head, these are the ones that you choose out of the quantum field that you either choose to repeat or choices that, and then you said no. So when I'm reading these, it's hard to tell if they're in time, where they're at specifically. But if the unfoldment's happening, then there's no way for me to read that, because when you're in ego, people can use it as a weapon. But when you're in spirit, you will learn how to listen to spirit. And when you go further in here, you'll find out what doors you're meant to have open and doors you're meant to have closed. So I don't read people just so we can, now, being that said, you can take a card and you can say, with the oracle cards, they're designed to see the mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual. They're designed to show you the level of where a person's at. That's totally different, because it is a different form of wavelength. Okay. If I said, like, if you chose, okay, you gotta use this wisely. This is why I just don't teach this stuff. This is why you have to have a foundation. So if I said, does this person like you, remember you, do they think about it? Would they be open? See, it's all questions. You have, would they be open for a relationship? And right now they said, finish healing the family issues. So that means unfinished business. I said, if the family issues were done, would he be open? And it is, yes, there's a strong attraction. I said, could it possibly be the on the measuring the scale of the highest amount, then what it would be? And they said, you have to remove your fear because you're not allowing yourself to move freely. Okay. And I said, tell me more. Oops. And they said, oh. You have to decide if you would like to bond in such a way, because the card came up like this, and then I flipped it, meaning it reversed it. So it has a choice. And I realized what I did before I looked. So if you were to do this pattern, if you didn't change, you wouldn't get here. Okay. If you didn't change anything, you would be no wedding. But if you were to go in and go, holy shit, heal my shit, learn to become freely within part of who I am, you can have a wedding. So it could release yourself into a strong relationship. I am not going to tell you who this person is, because I use discretion. So if you could just say the timestamp, just and put the word discretion for the timestampers that's watching, that would be great. I had to get that and say that out there. So, so the donation, is it just love donation, or are you coming onto the show? Let me know the difference, because sometimes people will just want to support and they want nothing else except for they were thankful for the information. I'm going to get my link, and Thor, you are up next. If you would like, I need to get to the right screen, find my Thor. Yes. There you go. Sure, that's the person I read. Yes. Get to the right screen, and now we're going to go there. Oh, good. That sounds good. Yes. She would love a short reading help with. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yep. And then Lorraine, and I will look to see if that money's come through, and it has. Okay. So you will be next. Okay. And like I said, right now, this is the expedites. Some people if you cannot pay through PayPal, and you know you want a reading on the day that I'm going to be doing this, then send me a link. I will send you a different link. And so you can just use your credit card. I don't put it out there for everybody right now, but because if people paid right now, I can't guarantee I'll get the money. So we have to make sure that the money does come through. And that's how, so if you're looking for a way and you want to pay for credit card, you could have to do it, what do you call it? A couple days ahead of time. And once it's verified, you can be on the show. Oops, get into the right view. Ah, yes, yes, yes. My volume's good. That's a good thing. We're getting there. Oh, there she is. And then we just get the mic to work. There we go. Hi, honey.
Hi.
All right. So before we begin your read, what do you want to fill us in? Because a lot of people have been following your story. And I think it's only fair that people are like, got questions.
Yeah, I'm sorry I haven't done hardly any talking or commenting or nothing.
That's quite all right, honey. You don't have to. Just tell us how you're healing, how you're handling it on a spiritual level, and then what we'll do. I mean,
I think I'm doing well, I'm always thinking. I'm doing really good. I mean, I'm a little stressed because thank God the guy gave me till Friday to get it in. So it's another week gone, but I'm like really close. And but so everything's going good. Hopefully I will be able to get it to him, and then I can start taking care of the other stuff, the charges and things like that. This is important.
All right, so universe has created an opportunity for you, which seemed impossible, but then spirit had created an opportunity so that you can kind of take the pen in hand and show the importance of all this. And then you can take the allegations, which are lies, and really pinpoint out those scary thoughts that people have had the pictures in their heads about. So she handles, I'm just going to say it, she handles dogs that could be violent. It could be
almost a mar.
And be put down. But she says, no, all dogs need to be loved, and all dogs, I can show you how to love them. And if you're not understanding what kind of owner you are, and it's provoking the dog to act this way, let me show you some big skills that you can use as the owner to help the dog to be in a position that it can be loved again. So she's like showing all these things. And so this one person was just mad, and they took it out on her and twisted everything up to their beliefs. And so now she's like, but that's not what happened. So you got two worlds, two belief systems that are fighting. We don't care who's right or wrong at this point. We care where April's at. We are wanting to help her move through her journey. And so Spirit says to her, hey, how about you write this? She gets to write her own way of saying that she can do what she can do on her property. And so, like, for instance, some of the things she uses, she doesn't use them all the time, but somebody's crying saying, she uses them all the time. No, she can point out that fact. Well, she uses more than, she's like 5 minutes at a time. No, 1 second, if that. She does it every day. No, maybe once a month. She does it on every dog. No, 1 out of every 15 dogs. So she can really show her point of view without going, but I don't do that. She don't need to go into defense mode. She can take the truth and be able to use her voice to tell the story. And why am I telling you this? Because hers is a deep one. She's learning how to rise out of her hell loops. And she's been given evidence upon evidence. Spirit says, April, I got your back. You're like, okay. But you're getting there.
Yes. No, and I do feel that way. I just have this conflict because I think I'm doing well. I don't have a lot of anger. I mean, I went through a friend that's not got my back, and I'm doing the things that I have to do. You know, I have to put in this report and all this stuff. And I'm getting messages from other places that is saying you're not surrendering. You're holding on to anger, and I'm not surrendering, and I need to just let source do this. And I'm like, I was so confused this morning. I was in tears. I was doing this. I was like, am I not surrendering? Am I doing too much? I mean, I'm supposed to just like, I don't know. I don't understand it. That's why I'm frustrated.
So other people are telling you that they can see from their point of view, they said surrender, but they can't explain the surrender. Can they say surrender what? Did they give detail, or are they just saying surrender?
Well, they gave detail and kind of said that I need to let things, I'm trying to take care of things myself, which is, you know, I'm asking people to give me letters because I'm trying to get the community together, because those people who have these very grumpy dogs and have seen the success can help educate everybody else. And I feel like, you know, they were saying, well, you're not letting source bring things to you. I feel that I am. I don't know if there's a block there. I kind of got upset that because I feel like I'm doing well and I don't have all this, and I am trusting the universe. I thought I was, and it's like they're talking about going through the eye of the needle and it's scraping off all the friends I don't need, which I understand. It still hurts, and yes, I did some healing on that too. But
let's dig a little deeper, because I understand what you're talking about. During my journey to this point, somebody says, oh, well, you're not open to receiving. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? How much more open can I be? I have asked, I have done, and I don't understand. They said, just be open. I said, you're not giving detail. And mine was twisted into how my guard was up as a child, because I was thrown under the bus. I was manipulated. I was brainwashed that I had no friends. There was nobody ever there for me, and everybody's an enemy. But it was because the person wanted to control me. Okay, so I'm like, what are you talking about? And it has to do with a lot of self-conscious issues. So I'm going to ask Spirit a little deeper. The sun's coming out for you. So what is it that when she's told to surrender, is she meant to surrender?
Well, I thought I have surrendered.
Okay, hold on. I'm asking Spirit.
Okay.
And I'm agreeing with you. I understand that surrender. They're saying the thing that's causing the energy flux that's happening that other people are reading is that it is in, they're using the word just, and then it says you're running from. Now, give me a second here. From your point of view, I'm looking and I can see that you're out there doing your best to make things happen. So notice that when you're asking for this, you're fighting for your cause. But in the cause, do you feel like you've won or lost?
My heart, I feel like everything's happening for a reason, and it's all going to come out positive. I mean, if I lost everything, would I be upset? Yeah, I'm just going to get up and move and go to the St. Croix, the Virgin Islands, and start over again. But
right now, understand. There's like, I see 3 rings running. Okay, so give me a second. So the first ring is all about your old patterning about wishy-washy thinking. So one minute you're like, yeah, I've got this, everything's fine. And then the creepiness of the energy will come in. They said that needs to be addressed, but it's the creepiness that comes in that out of the 41 thoughts, part of you not hearing will go there and drift. Okay. And when you drift, you're saying to the universe, cancel my order. And then the next minute you're going up and you're saying, no, I got to fight because this is important to me. Okay. And then all of a sudden I'll drift again. And it's like, oh my God, it's happening again. And I said, what's this? And they said, Well, that is what we're running from. I said, okay, keep going. And so then they keep going. And I said, can you go back to as far as you can that will allow? And they said, yes, there is a story. And the story goes back to, and I said, the first event, around 3 years old, you basically, it felt like a curse. And I'm going to say, was it down outright a curse? They said, no. Was it come from a person? It came from how you know energy about how incompatible you feel. You brought this over. You know, and part of your theme is this is very uncomfortable for me. Okay. And I said, tell me more about this uncomfortable. Well, I know what the stage of helplessness feels like. I feel helpless because I don't know the outcome. I feel helplessness because it's uncertainty. I don't know the outcome and I feel helpless. And so I feel like I got to fight so I don't drown. So I said, are you like the person that can't swim and are panicking and drowning? Yes. I said, okay. What are you willing to allow her to heal? Where are you at? And they said, well, you just feel I'm just incompatible. I can't find a mate. I can't find people that agree with me. I know what incompatible is. There's always, do you understand what I'm saying? There's gotta be some, it's just not in alignment. Do you understand? It's always off.
I feel so good about this.
Right. Now, consciously.
Yeah, I know.
Do you have a boyfriend?
No.
Do you want one?
That'd be nice.
Do you feel incompatible when usually you attraction factor pull people in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they're just not. Yeah.
Oh, what is the knowing there?
They're just not what I desire.
Okay, but notice that feeling right there. Now, when you got people that's for you or against you, that's a kind of incompatible. Okay, so when you were growing up, did you feel this incompatibility and always felt like you had to fight just to have anything?
I don't recall. I mean,
so when you had to get your voice, you couldn't shut, you wanted to shut people up to some degree.
I don't even remember.
Okay, so when we're talking about X number
one.
Yeah, well, you know how your little moment was.
Yeah, I hated that man.
Okay, what happened to the female?
Huh?
What happened to that one female?
Wait, which one are we talking about?
Oh, well, like maybe number 2. I don't know. But the point is that you have a pattern that someone else is to blame. So didn't you take down a chick?
Oh, yeah, that was recently, yeah.
So there had to be incompatibility there.
Hey, I didn't start it. I just protected myself.
Okay. Also, nobody's listening to you. Nobody gets you. No. Yes. So how much is that statement? That statement, is that your words or mine?
No, I believe it. People don't. I mean, some do, but most people don't get me. And
right there you go. Bingo. What did you just say?
People don't get me.
Okay. You need to surrender that truth. That's a lie. That's a belief. There's emotions attached to it. And I said, well, how do you prove to yourself that people don't get you? Well, I get accused. And then I have to, they're going to diminish my light. And then I know that I just don't see the love back from people. And then I'm just like, apathy. And I said, tell me more. And then it's like, where does my happy go? And then I have to show them and I have to prove to them. And then, so we're not really even compatible with our own life. No. So can you see how incompatible it is about life, people, situations? The word incompatible itself, that is what you're supposed to heal. How you know that word and how it is like a piece of a puzzle that goes to all of them. But if you believe that you're incompatible, notice where you're putting your life force. And then you're saying to the universe, I want to create this, but hey, you got to insert incompatibility with it.
And I believe that,
You can feel it.
well,
Get
I
out of your
mean-
head, go into your body. How did you know people don't get you?
they just they don't agree with things that I say or whatever, and
How do you know that?
they argue with me. They
And
have a
what's the
difference
importance
of-
of that?
well, they just have a difference of opinion, and
What's that? Why is that important?
well, if it's in my job, it's well because I'm usually right.
Why is that important?
Why is it important? I'm usually right. I just because it's less stress on other people.
Why is that
and
important?
things. So we can have a life of joy and ease
So why is that important?
because hells suck.
I don't want to say why is that important, but going
do.
back to why is it that that is important for you, for the steps to get you to where?
To what for ease and joy and to enjoy
Why is that
life.
important?
Well, why else be here? To go through the hills? That's no fun. I mean, I understand you learn from them, but you're supposed to rise up and get out and be able to handle things a lot better, and then they don't bother you as much.
So do you need all of this just to get happy?
No, I'll just go live by myself and I'll be happy.
Okay.
As a hermit.
Okay. So you're saying that you still are going to invest with your life force to believe in incompatibility.
No, I don't want to be incompatible.
So what incompatibility issues showed up this morning?
Difference of, well, I said spirit was fork-tongued because they told me that I haven't surrendered and I have no control of my life. And then the next
So
thing
this person that told you that you didn't surrender, do you trust them 100% that they have the truth or their opinion, or they're doing their best to translate? So I'm assuming this is a psychic.
Yeah, I it's funny because I do trust her a lot. I do I feel that that we become more close enough friends that she's biased maybe a little bit. Yeah.
So so you got to understand, when this person, you're asking for answers, so because you don't believe them yourself.
Well, actually, like today I just said, hey, how are you? And that was it. And she goes, oh, well, I'm glad you messaged me because spirit wanted a message for you. And so I listened to the message and I was just.
How many people do you need to be the psychic in your world?
Just me would be nice.
Good. Going to your higher consciousness. So you have to consider the source. I don't care how good they are. If they don't understand your story, if they don't understand the difference between ego and spirit, you're going to beginning to have issues. Do you understand? So yes, are you supposed to surrender? Yeah, get rid of the fact that you believe in incompatibility. Why does that have to be there? Why does that belief? Why does your life force have to believe that people are incompatible? Why do you have to see evidence of this? Why do you have to come in line with people that they're incompatible? Why do we always have to see this? Why do I have to have this conflict? Do you understand?
Yeah. I'm gonna work on
that. That is what you have to do. This is what you have to do. But you've got to see it. As soon as you see the incompatibility, don't let your ego go running around going, I have to give excuses, reasons, and I'm in my pain, or I have to control, fix, or whatever. Why is this? Because it's going to make you spin in 1,000 directions away from where you are healing. And so getting back to you, okay? You want love.
So the things I heard today, I was frustrated and upset, and I know I miss a lot of stuff because my body's so good at hiding things, but I really felt that wasn't I felt like I was doing okay because my inner
see-
self saying, no, that's not true. Not necessarily it's not true because you found some incompatibility that I need, but I don't know. My inner self was telling me that I'm doing okay. I am doing okay. I mean, I'm doing better. I don't have a
All
bunch
right,
of.
all right, right. Now let's back it up a bit. Don't talk about that person. Talk about the pain that you just had about a person, a falling out that has not been resolved. That is going to be your filter. It's going to be doing your best, and it's going to hinder seeing compatibility. You are compatible with me right now, but it's going to hinder your future because your mind is over here. Your mind cannot serve two masters. If you're trying to figure out how to do this, that's all you're doing is trying. The brain ain't going anywhere. Your action is over here going, oh my God. And it's stuck on this. And then you're over here going, yeah. And no, you need to understand there's all of you. And if your life force is over here on something that's unresolved with somebody that you cared about.
Well, and I thought I did some healing and I
Right.
thought
And it's a 4. You got it down to a 4. Your nerves
Okay.
are really good at taking on pain. You don't even know you got any pain anymore.
That's
So
true.
if you want to heal this person out, as far as stop being in this crazy train wreck of what just happened, how did that happen, asking these questions, driving yourself crazy, you can drive yourself to become anal. You don't need to go F yourself.
But see,
But you don't know you're doing it.
Well, then how the heck do I?
You have to become aware of your thought pattern. So if it has any twangs,
On
or
occasion,
you're sitting there talking to a friend going, oh, I still can't get over the fact, to stop right there and say, whoa, did I just tell myself I can't get over the fact? Did I just tell thank you, messenger. I will address that. I can't believe. Oh, wait. Was that another clue from your body's messenger? They say when you're ready, you're going to hold L3D because you know what it's like to be an object and nobody hears you. And yet you got this. So yes, as long as you understand that you can communicate with that psychic, don't go to anybody.
Yeah, no, we have a lot of the same journey. We have,
and that's where it's called clues. When spirit brings in clues, you put it on the shelf. Don't try to figure it out because, like you said, you don't want to go anal and go F yourself. You don't want to do that. That is part of the loophole that stinks. Okay, just stop doing that one. Learn to take it in and say, okay, don't argue with yourself. Well, I thought I was doing it. Don't go there because that's part of the loop. Okay. Thank you, Spirit, for showing me where I'm not surrendering, what even means. Thank you for detail. And then so be it. And then look for the answer by having Spirit just you let it go.
Okay, so I think I get really frustrated because I can't just say, because I have this inner feeling that's going, this is not right. And I'm doing good. And then I did pretty good.
That inner voice, I'm going to ask, that's not right. Is that your ego? Is that your spirit? That is your readjustment voice. This is how you had to survive yourself. It's not even the true nature of your higher consciousness. It's not you. It is a part of you that you pulled aside that says, hold on, I don't want this shit to happen to me again. I'm going to readjust and I'm going to use these as a sign of holding on so that I know that's not right. And then I'm going to protect myself. So it's part of how we kind of like OCD it. But it's on a spiritual a hell loop. That's all I can say is because we're not quite us. Okay.
So
now, my dear,
feelings I have are not mine.
What's that?
The feelings I have are not right. Are my feelings?
Your feelings are based on a program and not your higher consciousness. You're learning how to evolve out of old patterns.
Okay.
So ego will then try to show you that it has great intuition by protecting you, but doesn't really allow you to open up your intuition. So you're moving out of old programming. Like, how when people try to train their dogs and they do it very bad way and you're like, okay, let me show you the correct way. Okay, I will be your dog trainer. No, I will be your spirit trainer.
Okay.
Okay, so does that make sense? We're just going to help you go from, let's tweak this to, so you can be more of a master at your own intuition.
Yes, I need this. I keep
You got it. You got this.
growing, but I think I'm
Yes.
still relying on my emotions, like
Yes.
my inner self that goes, but when do I know when to?
You know when you clear your head. If those inner emotions like that don't feel right, go in, heal that so that you can rise higher. Okay, as you begin to rise higher, you break out of this hell loop or these conditioning programs, and then you're going to be able to hear more with your spirit. And when you do, your clarity is what's going to give you peace.
That's what I don't, I'm not used to feeling.
Exactly. That's it. So when you get it, you witness it and you say, thank you, spirit. And you can even put your hand there and go, oh, I'm going to absorb this in. I'm going to fire and wire this in.
And it feels like what afterwards? Nothing.
No, it feels like a knowing. Like I know when I got to go to the bathroom. It's a knowing. It's more of intrinsic. It's more of a, I know. It's not ego knowing.
So all those feelings are not.
You don't have to
spiritual.
believe half the shit you think or feel because they are based on old programs that are not you.
Oh my God, my whole life has been like Melanie. Is Melody?
Melody. Yeah.
She's like, I see her, some of the things she posts, I'm like, she's an emotional bleh. And
yes, and she's a beautiful soul that she wants out. And if we can just hold space for her, and
I feel like that was me back then.
Okay, and that's what we're going to do. Notice we're not comparing, but we're noticing, shit, I see the mirror now.
Yeah.
And now Melody can go, look, I can become that, not April, but I can put in my catalog of life that I want to order that. I want to become that, not April, but that.
Right.
Okay. And so every stage is very important. And when you witness that, notice your growth now.
Yeah, I do. I've got a long way to go, but thank you. And Melody, hang in there. You'll get there, girlfriend.
Yeah. And Miranda had said something, and that's one of the things that I like to help the people that when we're in academy, but tribal is good too. And my audience here, get back on your axis. Okay. And I even have the healing tool in my healing on my page, and I can't remember what I call it. I don't think I call it getting back on your axis, but it is, because this energy as above, so below, this, because you have with the frequency of horizontal and vertical, and you need to get back on your axis so that you can get back on your journey. You can do this. And so even though you feel it, you may have to take and make that energy, make sure you're connected as above, so below. Okay.
Yeah.
Not always easy, but you can do it.
I forgot to do those today because I just that flipped me. I'm like, I'm doing good. And then I'm like, oh my God.
Right. And then you had to go into a live experience so that you can say, holy crap. And then you came on here and now you're not going to waste it. You're going to have a faster turnaround time.
Didn't I do well in the healing today when I was, that's.
Yes, you have. See, you're using, you're applying, you're being, and you went from here to there. Now, and don't ask me, but you said that you had a comparison. I know where I was at. I'm not there anymore. And I know that I've used the tools, because if I didn't use the tools, I could drive myself farther back into hell. And I haven't.
Right. I don't want to. I got things to do, and I want to be happy and help all these.
Yeah. So if I'm going to give you one more tool before you let you go, and understand this. When you come to me, and when you all decide to be healers for other people, your number one thing I ask of you is you have to see them already healed. No judgment. You use discernment. You see them already healed. You believe it. That's how I can get my answers, because I already see your whole. I already see your blueprint. I already see. So because I already believe it, I can help you align to it. Huh?
I do that already with the animals, don't I?
Right. But you
'Cause when I
don't do it with people.
Well, you know why? They're not as cute and cuddly.
Right. But that's what you're asked to surrender.
Okay. Thank you.
You're
awesome.
welcome. Ah, thank you. And so are you. We're rising together.
I know. Thank you.
All right. I love you, hon.
You too.
Bye. Now, you can learn a lot. You seriously can learn a lot. It's these small little details. But guess what? Some of them are just really good foundations. We're just going to keep sending the love to our tribal members and all the people in the audience. All of you, I already see whole. There's an energy grid up there that's always been in place about everybody we connect with. And I keep sending you love. And it's there. It's endless. You need it. You're in desperate need. Just say, thank you, Spirit, for sending me energy, sending me love. And just know that I'm there coming in agreement with helping you balance. You've got this. You have got this. All right. Thank you all for that. I'm going to go over to, oh my goodness, Melody Moonlight has done a love donation. So that means we have a pay it forward. Oh, sweet girl. It's our sweet woman. Okay. So first of all, I got to find Lorraine. I got to find where she's at. And why is the thing not open? All right, we'll go there. Lorraine, L, we'll just call you L. All right, L, you ready? Let me get this off to you. And do you want to come on or just use your voice? That's up to you, sweetheart, or do it this way. I'm going to leave that up to you. She just had a major surgery. We'll see where she's at. And Melody has done a beautiful job. So we're going to have 2 pay it forwards. So whoever's in the room and would like to be on this program, you know, I will send you win. I'll send you a link. You come on. You can use your voice or you can use video. It's up to you. Okay. So whoever wants to play, we're going to, I believe Miranda's my time checker, or no, time stamper. Why's my voice going? I got to find the right screen, just not finding it here. Let me go over here. That's not it. Okay. We're going to say the first reading is, we have a number. So if you can go from 0 or what, yeah, 0. Okay, fine. 0 to 30, start picking numbers. And Miranda will be helping you because she's, yeah, we have the number. So let's play. Let's play. I feel a little chilly in here. Okay, so here we go. I got our first guest. And just, you know, if you want to have this, we got deep. Normally we can help you heal if you are in an emotional state, you know, 1 through 30, pick a number and you can come on with just audio, no video, or you can come on with video. Hold on, I was just trying to read something here. Okay, yes, got it. Oh, oh, that's interesting. Oops. There we go. So while I'm waiting, I got to address this. Angela, Ellen, you says, I don't know if it's because I have a head cold, but I feel like I'm tripping slightly and can taste the LSD in my mouth. This is weird. How interesting. I gotta ask Spirit. Spirit, can you tell us something about it? All right, let me check you. Okay, not bad. And then because I said there's something to do with a readjust energy. And I said, what do you mean? And so now I have to find out. Okay, why is that? They said, well, Oh, wow. You've taken medicinal drugs in the past. And I said, is this medical drugs versus recreational versus medicinal? They said there was something that was in the system of the past. And they're showing me that you're releasing something. I felt like something was stored in the body. Now I feel like it's releasing. And then the chemicals, wow, I think you killed off some bacteria that had it in it. It's really weird. I feel like the body is, ooh, she looks new. If she's new, she gets 2 minutes. Ooh, yes. Oh, hold on. We have a winner. We have a winner for that. It looks like it's Nikki. Okay, so Nikki Mendez has just won one. Okay, we have the other one because we have a second one. So if you could, again, we're going to go 1 through 40 this time, 1 through 40. Oh, Angela says she stopped taking her bipolar meds. Hold on, does that have anything to do with it? Yes, yes, and yes. Oh, very much so, very much so. And Brianna is new, so I want to give her a 2 minute anyway. Lorraine or Elle, if you are there, I'm not sure if you're busy. I got to see if you want to come on. I sent you a link. But before we go any further, I hear another noise out there, and I know I'm alone. So that I'll be back. So this is what I'll do. Let me get my little screen up so I can take care of a few things. And here you go. Okay, made it back. Game over. Somebody else won? Who won it? Who won the second one? Who won the second one? I had to check. Oh, Autumn did. Autumn won. Woo. So we have 2 winners. And because of Melody, thank you so much, darling. And we're just going to hold space for her as well. Ooh, yes, Thor's right. I like that tea. It helps where you won't realize you're off. That is a very good tea. Wow. So I got to get contacted with Elle to see where she's at. Medication's probably not helping. Oh, good. Oops, me. Okay. Let's see, get to the right screen. Let's find Miss L and see what she's got going. Didn't it go through? Are you serious? Noreen, let's try it again. Oh no, it did go through. She's just busy, I guess. All right, so that new one, I saw that person here. What's her name? Brianna, did I get to, hey, time stamper. Did I give her a reading before? I can't remember. Okay, so while I'm waiting to find out about Lorene, Elle, sweetheart, if you can hear me. No, I haven't. Okay, so Brianna, I'm going to give you a 2-minute, and then Miranda, would you be a doll? And I don't know if you can contact Elle or not. Oh, I know somebody that's also that can do it. And I know she knows who I'm talking about. If you want to ask her, that would be great. I got to find her. I can't seem to find her. Oh, she's not in that list. That's fine. Okay, so I'm going to give you 2 minutes, my darling. And let's see. Spirit says, Brianna, here we go. Thank you, Miranda. Okay, Brianna, here we go. Oh my God, my head's spinning. I feel like my chemical peptides are off. I said, what's going on? I just feel incompatible. I said, what is this brainwave? I feel like I've been crying, or I feel like, okay, I feel, oh my God. Do you know who Amy Winehouse is? Anyway, the point is that my cranial aspects of me, and I'm looking at it, I see that the 6th down here in my neck, it's holding that I'm incompatible with something. I'm incompatible with something. I said, what do you mean that you're incompatible? And they said that, hold on. Oh my God, my body is like freaking out here. It says that there's certain actions, my body's, it's the memory of stuff that you've had, things that are unresolved, your body remembers. And so then you'll start thinking about what you're feeling. And I said, okay, what else? And they said, well, when it comes to, okay, here we go. They're talking about the very first top part of your cranium. So there's a certain amount of your gateways. The first one says that my life force has a lot to do with the issues of, I am not able to hold my truth. I says, tell me more. And they said, again, I've checked out. And I said, you've checked out. What part of you is talking to me? Well, your 16-year-old self is talking to me. And I said, what happened? And he says, well, there's emotions of feeling attacked and I can't get them off my nervous system. And the story of my hell loop is that I just don't want them to leave. I just don't want to be alone. I just don't want. So can you hear that? Can you hear it? I can hear it. And now my head is spinning again. And you're forced to readjust because you don't know what to do with that. You can't cope. You can't handle, you deal. You can't think. And so you're trying to find a way to cope. Does this make any sense? Because yours is, wow. Brianna, talk to me about it because I'm curious. What does Amy Winehouse have to do with it? Because if you think about the story of Amy Winehouse, her family, her dad left her, I think it was. And so she couldn't get over it. And so the person she would cling on to the most, and in an escape reality, to escape those emotions, she ended up turning to drugs and things and felt that there was no meaning to life except for to be in that state. So an altered state. So an altered state of thinking, is that it? So when you look, you can see how you feel like you're chasing and running at the same time. You're not even sure what you're doing. I feel like there's a certain amount of distrust about being here. Is that you or is there somebody else with you? That's the strongest thing I've ever had. Okay. Yep, I've had a lot of childhood abuse. My father left and I can't live without a man. Okay, so okay. So I'm going to ask Spirit, what is the very first thing we can do to help this person? And they said, well, it is, if we take the words that she said, then they said that there's a part of you that just can't believe. I can't believe that happened. I can't believe that this is happening. I feel like the little girl. I'm about 3 years old. I can't believe. And I said, talk to me more. And they said, it's in the sacrum. It's the base. And when you're in that 7th gateway, it's the base and it's the coccyx and it's about fight, flight, freeze response. And all I keep hearing her say is, I can't believe this. I can't believe she's stuck on a hell loop right there. I says, what can we do to help? And they says, well, have Brianna take her left hand under her thumb, right at the crick. They want you to put your thumb there. Put your finger in the fat of your palm and put these 3 here. Okay. I said, all right. And then what? And they said, remember, it's the 3rd one down. It's not on the side. It's not in the middle or way over there. It's under the thumb. And you're going to take and you're going to push in deep. Now, this is going to be connecting to that heart area. You want her to do that? That's not heart area. Hold on. I got to have a meeting. What do you mean you want her to do L3D? Yes. Oh, okay. So the energy is invading. This is a 2-part thing here. Wow. Okay. This normally is my when you're usually come off there, a private reading. So okay. So they want you to hold L3D. The reason they want you to go there first, feel it in your heart that you just don't have, I can't believe there's no empathy. There's like an issue with no love, no feeling, no empathy. And then after you measured this, you got to go, oh my God, I can't believe this. I can't believe this. Put it on the scale from 0 to 10, sit there. You're going to put your finger here and then you're going to drop down and hold your head and you're going to sit there and you're going to go, oh my God, I can't stop thinking about this. This is where I'm at. Stay there. The number will come down. And when you start to get clarity, okay, keep going. And when you feel like it's not there anymore, then you jump up to there, to the top one. Then you push in deep again. And this time they said they want you to look at how it's not that I can't believe, it's like, I can't cope. I can't cope. I can't cope. And that is what they want you to do. Okay. Now, you have any problems with that? Just let me know. I'll send you a link so you can see what it looks like. Okay. Didn't see or hear anything back. She might not be because I waited so long. Okay. And we're holding space for you, Brianna. Okay. We're holding space for you. All right. I'm going to just start. Let me get the 1 minute out of the way because I'm still going to wait for, okay, we'll send you a link. Just contact me because I may not be able to do this. Just come over here to Medicine Woman Soultion. It's Soultion, and message me so that I can, bring a link right to me, and then I can just send you the link from there. Okay, so if you're really serious, do that next step, and then because it's too hard for me to find you within the program, it doesn't really allow me to. Anyways, that'd be easier. So now we're going to do some of the 1 minutes because usually we do those after the expedite. I'm waiting for Elle to find out where she's at. So we're going to turn to the people that have politely waited in line, and then I'll turn to the room. So hang in there, people, hang in there. We're going to go to Crystal. Hold on. Nothing specific. Okay, gosh. Okay, so we're going to turn to Crystal first. Ready? All right, Crystal, they're saying heart crushed and being a martyr. We're going very back to when you were about 38. So you're trying to make a decision now in your life, and they're going back to that. So when your heart was crushed, and they said that you need to heal out. And they said L2S because there's a hidden story. You had to be a martyr. It's like it was part of that. You're the one that had to give up. You're the one that had to do the changes in the relationship. And they want you to heal that pain out because somehow it's interfering. It's creating a self-conscious. So you can't really take that step forward of where you want to go. And so then you just feel that incompatibility. It feels familiar. And that's only because the program's running. It doesn't mean that that's what's happening. It just means that's the program's running. So they want you to go R3D. Crystal with the C, Crystal Allen. And they also want you to do L1D, Crystal Allen. Okay, we're going to go to the next one. We're going to go up to Nancy Burke. A fear of judgment. I feel like there's a filter that still resides and it's showing me over the right eye. And I would tell you to do the right eye accessing, because I feel like part of that judgment has everything to do with, there's an expectation, like they expect you to be there, or that you expected them to be there. But somehow this filter is interfering whatever it is that you need to see or go next. And that's one reason why the cold is in place, because it's not really a cold. It is how your body is holding on to a pattern. So you can do the accessing, but there's a broadcast message that is in your space about how they want you to do something, and your body is saying, so to help the body to self-actualize about certain things, they want you to, I think that's also called source point on my healing page. And I'm going to give you that you need to hold, you want to use a magnet? So you're going to use the magnet or your hand back and forth, and then you're going to rub, but you're going to write down BL64, LU9, and LR3, and it's the left side only. So the left side of the body, you would then go, like for instance, with lung, you would then take and notice that you would be using the magnet there, and then you would be rubbing it. So a source point, I believe that's what it's called. It'll show certain points. If not, again, I thought I had it up there. Haven't used it in a while. Just if you're serious about healing the next stage, Nancy Burke, then you just go ahead and if you can't find it, we'll do the next one. Miss April Lynn. Miss April Lynn. Okay, so I feel like everything's going on in your back. There's a lot of stuff going on in your back. And I said, well, what's going on? And they said, I'm used to feeling abused. No. Self-abuse? No. The readjustment. Oh, it's how you buffer abuse. So in your body, you know that there's stuff happening. Instead of having a boundary, you still can feel it. You know, you're doing your best not to absorb it. And you are now in a transitional stage of awakening to notice it, but yet you're not quite getting it. So then you're starting to repeat certain things. Your body is. I says, how do you want to get out of that stage? They said R3D, because there's a part of you that had an old thing. Oh, I just want this to stop. It's a longing. Now you're really not feeling it, but your body is. And because your body is, then you are going to hold that point, which is R3D. Okay. And then you're going to let the body tell you how it knows it. It may not always be a mental, emotional loop, but it can be a physical loop, a sensation. Gotcha. Okay. We're going to go over to Kelly, Miss Kelly. They want to refer to some form of addiction. And then I'm not telling you that. But there's a habit, and it's just a strong habit. And they said, yeah, I guess I'm going to have to. They say you like that stage of how it rolls out of the mouth. There's a certain smell, and there's this, like, you would put an emphasis on that happy point. It's like has a lot of happy memories. And this is where you found a happy spot. So they're really looking at a snapshot of whatever addiction it is that you had. They said that but the memory is kind of hooked to that. So as you're trying to do whatever it is on your next leg of your adventure, this memory is like a GPS. It keeps pulling you back in. And if you can use eye accessing for that, and you can also hold L1S, because it's like, I'm going to make a career out of this. And so somehow that's all tied. Eye accessing, if you can see what I was talking about, that would be great. Let's go over to Teresa Perkins, Miss Teresa Perkins. There's something about fighting yourself. I have to fight myself. And I'm trying to hear this. It's like, is it an actual argument, like a debate? They said, no, it's the readjust. And you don't realize it yet, but you're ready to get to some peace, but you always have to readjust. And it's like, okay, so when you're standing in one position, and let's say you know that you have to go out in the world and face the people that don't like you. Your body will then say, no, we're not ready. So that means your higher consciousness and your subconscious mind are out of sync. So you can't get to that self-actualization. So you're going to become what's a form of a sabotage. So it kind of creates a crossroads, a conflict within yourself. And there's a part of you that just readjusts because you're like, there's nothing I can do. My body just won't let me do it. And they said, if you get this, if you get it, then hold L3D, because you know what it's like to feel small and you're kind of comfortable. It's safe there. Okay. So L3D. Got it? We're going to move over to Crystal K. Crystal with the K. All right. They're saying something about laughing. Ha, 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 ha. And then they said there's a loftiness. Now, what's happening is it feels like my left ear wants to bleed. It's like, so does somebody's laughter annoy you? By being upset about it, because my teeth are hurting, I feel like I can't make a decision. It interferes. It feels like it creates action issues, karma issues. And so it's like, I feel like there's an intention of when somebody laughs, like somebody is laughing at you as a way painfully instead of laughing with you. And they're telling you bullshit. Well, I'm just laughing with you. And you know, it's like a bold-faced lie, because this is when my teeth are starting to hurt. And they said, I can't trust that. So I feel like you're with somebody that did that and carried that signature. And so you just said, oh, can't trust you. I don't know if you were even aware that you did it, but your body says, this is familiar. We can't trust them. Now, they said that you're learning about yourself. If you heal out what I just said, they said, start removing it out of L2S, because you're moving into discernment. So you're literally taking the energy off of that, closing down that akashic record. As you start to close down that akashic record, you're going to take that energy and start to redefine something new. Okay. All right, Miss Amanda. Amanda, also, I need you to chat with me because my life is so crazy. I keep forgetting. Just say, hey, you wanted to talk to me, and then I'll remember. Okay. There's some love unreceived. So there's been something misunderstood. Well, why didn't you just come to me directly? Why didn't you do this? Why do you do that? And you feel this is going back to how somebody played a game with you. They laid down the game like a pimp, but somebody wanted to control the situation. So they would send out a certain energy field so that you would feel uncomfortable to behave the way they wanted. And now you're doing it as an adult, but it's not the same story. And so they said that you've been contemplating different feelings, different things, but they're not the same. One's an apple and one's an orange. They may be fruit, but they're not the same. And they said that you are learning to break your habits now. Instead of clumping them all together, you're breaking up the habits. You're breaking up the habits. Because of that, you will then begin to learn that you don't have to do love unreceived, because if you're breaking up and dividing it the way it should be, you can start receiving loves from some people instead of having to feel like a wall is up. They said L1S and L1D, because you're going and breaking up that way that you were trying to protect yourself. Okay, then we're going to go in and then with Autumn, she won, right? So that I'm going to wait. I'm going to go towards the room, and anybody else in the room that wanted a 1 minute. Bobby, are you still here? Bobby, they said, you're getting stronger. You're not just repeating, but your eyes are showing me that you're like, oh, you're starting to notice that you can accuse. And I said, why is that important? Because people were always accusing you and you always felt like you didn't have power. You're finally feeling in a way that you've got a little bit of strength. And so I can feel you going like that. And they said, you're starting to use a little bit more of a discernment that you don't have to keep repeating this particular story. And I says, well, tell me more. And they says, but you haven't found out that you're fighting yourself. Your excuses and your reasons, all of these is that you're fighting yourself. And it's like when the king would look to his for help, and they said, hey, just tell the people this, this, and that, so they fight amongst themselves. It's like somebody had done this to you, something to you, and try to get you to be your own worst enemy, so that you're insane. Oh, it sounds like what do we call those people? Narcissists, gaslighters. Okay. So now we're going to go over to, let's see. We're going to go over to Miranda, and Miranda, you've been very patient. Thank you. Usually I just take and do it right away. There's abnormal. Abnormal what? An abnormal reaction, in the spirit aspect. So what do you mean abnormal? They said, well, you're going through a particular healing stage of your life, and there's a lofty energy of your ego that's trying to self-abuse you, but you think it's your spirit. So you're not quite hearing it in the actual alignment. So they're saying you're ready to tweak out how the ego is trying to think it's, hey, it's important. You're learning how to upgrade your intuition. That's what you're doing. And I said, all right, well, what? And they go, well, it's the way that you criticize, use words to criticize, and you don't even know, do you even know their words that criticize? Yes. So there's a slight little guilty pleasure off it. And I said, are you ready to heal that? They go, that's not it. It's looking at the readjust. I don't want to readjust, because if I do, you win. Well, we got to change that. That's what you got to make sure that, so it's L3S sour graping. Okay. And Amy Jensen. Okay. So coping tools, there's a certain amount of coping tools that you've been using and sharing with other people. And they said that you're starting to wear yourself out a little bit, because you're kind of like, where's my happy? And I says, well, what do you mean? And they said, well, I feel in a way that when I'm working with certain people, it's like the curse that they're better than me. And it's not that I'm thinking that. I can feel them thinking that. Oh, and you want to run away. Okay. So as you're waking up to this and not understanding it, this is where you put self-imposed limitations. You hold yourself back, and I'm going to let everybody else shine. And at the same time, as you're doing your best to do what you want to do, you're now convincing yourself to step back. And that's what you've got to stop doing. So they said R1S, because it's like, you are learning how to redefine relationships with people, because like when your energy was to be too needy, it's not that anymore. Now it is, how do I connect with people? And so you're redefining that. Bobby says, spot on. Wow. Yes. All of the times I've been the one driving myself crazy. Yes. And you're getting out of it, Bobby. Just be patient with yourself, heal yourself out, get to that next leg. Autumn, you won. But I've got to think who was the first person that won, because I have to do it in order to which it was Nikki first, right? All right, Elle, I can't seem to get a hold of Elle. We'll figure it all offline unless she gets here at the end. So if she gets here at the end, then we'll put it there, because she paid, she would come first. But I'm going to jump over, and Nikki was the one that won first, and then Autumn. So let me get the screen up. There she is. And I will go right here, darling. Let me hit the word send. Hopefully that went across. And now we'll just take and start working with the pay it forwards. Okay. Anybody else in the room that I may have missed? Angela Allen. Did I do her already? No. Well, there's laughing again. Laughing and blaming. Oh, I feel like I read her, but I know I didn't. There's something about having to have you go into a state of not knowing the difference here. Your body, you're getting to have self-awareness of certain behaviors, and you're learning to let go of certain habits that you've been holding on to. They said they want you to begin to notice, as you start to let go of that old habit, an anxiety is going to kick in, and then you're going to feel like your happiness disappears, and it's going to confuse your growth. They said if you can just start to feel that, become aware of that. They said R3S, there's a certain amount of guilt tripping, I know I did this, certain amount of guilt tripping. They confused two people. How interesting. They didn't confuse it. There's a lot going on here, a vivid recall and an instability. There's two. Wow. I feel like two other people in your streams. Make sure you call your name out, because I think when I was given Angela a reading, or Nancy a reading, so I might have to re-give Nancy a new reading, because I know that was for Angela. So, but there was some truth to Nancy in that. So we have a crossover line. I'm getting very dizzy because it's too hard to see those two, but I don't think you guys know each other, but you guys has got a very similar story. So if Miranda, if you could keep a note for me to make sure that I give Nancy Burke until I can look at it. I may have to give Nancy Burke another reading, because if we can get the timestamp to Angela when we gave Nancy's, there's some truth in that for her. It was something about a cold. I'm so confused right now. I've confused myself. And anyways. Hello, Nikki.
Hi, Brenda. How are you tonight?
I'm good. You're the lucky winner. Alrighty.
Third try, right?
All right. How can we help, darling?
Oh, whatever pops up tonight.
Okay. So there you go. Now I'm just going to stop this. So, you know, in travel, when we have you, when I do these things, make sure you paraphrase, because how you paraphrase tonight was really good. And it's been noticing that you must have been listening and firing and wiring, because what you're doing is your body's starting to hold the new codes. So that's a good sign, because you're not just spouting it out. You're actually holding it so you can regurgitate it properly. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. So here we go. They're pointing out the word inferiority complex. You had to have some type of energy field so that you could hold your own in a very superior, narcissistic, crappy conditioning. Well, I feel like you've kind of scoped out a new area of your life where you don't really need to have that safety, survival instinct with your new life. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Okay, now how do you separate that? Well, if you didn't start taking care of that, then you're going to bring that baggage into any relationship that's going to cause the mirror of the attraction factor to appear, and you're going to have that, that energy will tell them to treat you the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Now, have you ever had that happen before?
All the time.
All right, so now we're ready to start kicking it in the butt.
Yeah, I've been kicking it in the butt.
All right, now they said, here's the detail. Have you ever held grudges?
Yes.
Those kind of are holding down like you would a tent, the tent stakes. Grudges are like tent stakes. That's keeping that structure that you're doing your best to take down, but you got to take the stakes out. So they said grudges. Now they're looking at the grudges, and they said part of why you can't get to some of them is because the one step just prior is like, you emotionally just can't. I'm not playing this anymore. I'm not going in anymore. And you kind of just emotionally shut down before it can begin again. So in the beginning, way back when, you'd have to take the shit. You would get to the emotional state of shutting down. My emotions just can't do this anymore. I'm not playing. And then you would end up holding the grudge. Now you've grown a lot. You've to the point where you've kind of like, nope, we're not even going to go there. You put the wall up. And you've shut down before because you can smell it. It's going to happen type thing. And now you've started to chip away at that. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay, now you're at this stage. And they said the stages is that you can kind of tell now. Oh, don't need emotionally shut down. I'm good. Oh, no. Okay, good. Oh, yeah. Oh,
I did that today.
Okay,
but
good,
L3D. I did L3D.
All right, now would L3D would help her with that? And they said, yes, good. Now, to really kick it to the curb so you can start really doing a self-realization on that and releasing it. They want you to go into L1S because, let me just get the right words. Part of your old past is you had to give up expectations when they would go into that little behavior, and then you were supposed to do things out of sympathy. And then it was a catch-22. Somehow your ass would always get kicked. You're like, what?
Mhm.
Okay. So now you're learning to hold your own. You kind of even mimicked and said, this is what I'm going to be. I'm going to do this. Now you're changing. You're ready. And they're pausing a great deal here because they want you to see that you're like, but this is the identity I feel safe in, but I don't want it anymore. So you have a conflict. But the conflict is hooked into, I have to always be the one to readjust. So when you are with new people, you're like, no, you need to readjust first because I ain't doing it. I don't even know if you're even aware of that attitude sits there.
I am. I've been working on it.
Okay,
I
okay,
am.
good.
Yes.
But now notice somehow that's going to keep looping because it has still something to do with grudges. Okay. So I'm going to ask Spirit, what do you want me to do? They said, well, you know the routine. I said, yes, I'm just buying time because I have to look it up. Okay. I always tell people to look up words you think you know because something can spark. And we're looking for that particular clue. A persistent feeling of ill will or resentment resulting from a past injury or insult. Okay. So now it says, be resentfully unwilling to give or allow. See how I feel like that's more of a verb than the noun aspect of it?
Mhm.
So it's not that you have this ill will. You can feel that ill will from everybody else. You can feel that shit. But here's the thing, you're like, I am not. I am unwilling. That saved you in the past, but I think now it's kind of stuck. So you have to kind of repeat a hell loop with relationships. And I know you're ready to move out of that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Ooh, why was there hesitation?
And I am very much.
Okay, so tell me about today without giving any names away.
Well, I mean, I know a person has lied to me, and a person that tried to come into my life and from the past and came in for a couple of weeks, lied, went on a trip with someone else, and I know about it, but I didn't say anything.
Okay, good. Spirit brought this up.
Uh-huh.
Spirit brought this up. And it's like, this territory, how do I walk spiritually in this territory?
Yes.
How do I be this walk my talk and sacredly? How can I do this? And Spirit said, good, because in the past, you're starting to see, it was intentionally a test for you, Spirit, that your runners did, so that you could feel that how old pattern was. And they said that you are ready to take that next leap. And they said, if you can see that injustice, I think that's the word I want, because you know that they lied.
Yeah.
And would you want them to confess up? No, are you,
No.
you're, okay.
No,
Good,
not
good,
anymore.
good. Because see, you get to pick your battles. You're at the stage of saying, who cares?
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
Yeah.
if you can get to that, who cares? And,
Yeah.
and if somebody comes to you and says, but he did that, or they did that, or did that. Okay, stop. Do you have anybody in your space that's trying to convince you that you needed to make them confess or anything? Do you have anybody else along in for the ride?
No.
Is what I'm asking.
No.
Good. So it's just you and your thoughts.
Yes.
Okay.
It's just, I
So
had to like write it out today, because he got back today. So, I had to hear all the stories,
who does
knowing
he
that they're
remind you of? Just
stories.
think back. Just think back. Who does he remind you of? Who he's pulled? There's a signature.
I mean,
Somebody did this to you before.
yeah, a lot of people. So
Right. And it goes all the way back to like when you were 6 years old.
My dad.
There you go.
Yes.
Now, this is your hell loop. This is going to be part of your hell loop, but you're breaking it. Okay. And the thing is that you have to self-soothe. And they said it's kind of like, so have you had people that did guilt tripping on you? Okay, let's take the person you were talking with. What kind of language did they use so that they would get you to find favor for them?
Oh, that he was going on a, spiritual, enlightening, alone trip to work on himself.
Okay.
because
Now
I've done
you
so
have
much work.
seen
So
part
did
of
I.
the information. Now hold on.
Mhm.
I see, as I'm watching you looking, you're using one eye at me, which means you only got part of the information. So I feel like you ran to a conclusion and based on the fact of what happened with your father. And so the thing is that is it really true of all of the stories you came up with about the information you know? Do you have actual proof, not just what you've come up with? Do you understand what I'm saying? Very crucial point
Well,
right now.
not that specific trip, but a few days prior, I knew there was a woman around.
Okay, so the question is,
There.
do you know what that woman really represents? In your mind,
No.
I can see you representing that, oh, I know who she is. But is it true? And this is where you're going to have to take care of the next part of you, because you really want to make sure when you date, you're 100% compatible. But right now, the attraction factor of your hell loop is kind of rearing its ugly head.
Yeah.
Because the injustice that you didn't, because your father, you're like, I have unfinished business with that. And so we're going to take this, and we're going to put your life on hold, and we're going to go back to how that was with your father. And they said there's a phobia that if you don't want whatever it was that occurred with your father ever happen again, that it created a slight phobia. And the phobia will always be like a kicker, so you could never get to what you want. It's like if somebody was afraid of spiders and it just will keep them from it. It's like, oh, here's another joke. It's like when you're trying to write a sentence and you're like, oh, I know that word. And you go to type it and you can't figure out how to spell it. And you're like, oh, fuck it, give me a new word. And so you grab a new word, put it in, and you're like, and it changes the whole sentence. You're readjusting parts of your life on that. Do you understand? We have to go back to what it is that the little girl wants to take care of with the father, because there's just feels like it's too open. It does not have closure. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. And actually the trip this person went on, he went to Puerto Rico where my dad lives.
Well, there's another clue. Okay, so everything's okay. So it's not even
Yeah.
about this person. It's about
my yeah, it's deeper than that.
All right, so you're going to have to play around with L1S, left wrist, first position soft. And I'm going to notice that because you got your little girl has a very unique words. It's like she made her own language. I can't explain it. I can't pronounce it, but it was like, but she's, I can kind of have a familiarity with it. And she's like, oh, I feel lost. I feel vulnerable. It's not going to happen again. I'm going to have to give up expectation. They're going to get away with it. Why don't they love me back? Oh my God, I'm going to take offense. That hurts. I'm going to point it out. And you really are playing the victim in this as this child. Okay. Because, and a lot of it, the child didn't have a lot of information. And I feel like there was another component that fed you a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
On top of the truth.
Yeah.
And that is why you're so confused today. When you try to look through those filters, you can't really see what you need to see. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so L1S it anytime. If it reminds you of your father, L1S it. If you feel a twang about something that's happening right now, just go and hold L1S it, because you're active right now. This little girl's active memory. Okay, so let's nip away at that hell loop. Okay?
I am. I'll get it done.
I know you will. I know you will, because I can feel it. Okay. And we will talk to you real soon, hon.
All right. Thank you,
bye-bye.
brother. Bye.
Wow, that's so cool when you can kind of see a lot more details there. A lot more details. I just love how spirit is just, very helpful. Let's get into the situation where I saw her a second ago, Miss Autumn. Oh, here we go. She had a massive seizure on Saturday. Holy knickers. Oh, okay. No, you're fine. Oh, wow. Wow. Okay, I appreciate everybody. So the first of the month we'll be taking, and all the people that have shared, your name has gone into the treasure chest. We'll be drawing one name that will win a 15-minute on-air session with me. And then all the people that have paid, like Thor that did today, gets and also Melody, her name's going to go into the drawing, and for a 30-minute session with me free off the air. So we'll see who wins. So it's already the first of the month is coming. So let's see who we have here. We have Autumn. Let's see. Get the microphone on. Let's see if it works. Hello, Autumn. Oh, still not there. Give her a second. Get that volume. It's not working. Okay. Hello, Autumn. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
There you
There
are,
you
hon.
are.
Okay. Hi. Oh, massive. Wow. The seizure.
Hello.
Ouch.
Yeah, I had so as of right now, let me put this on. As of right now, I am I'd say about 80% better
Okay.
from Saturday. But
Okay.
it was it was a seizure that I've never had before. Some of
Wow.
it was med related. I will say that.
Did it control your spine a lot?
A little bit.
Little bit,
I
okay.
had, so the way I was positioned when I went into the seizure is I had to, and I actually just went to the chiropractor. So I'm sorry for the
Oh, okay. I'm not sure which way
Yeah.
we're going here, but I'm listening.
Yeah. Yeah, I literally just went to the chiropractor within the last, I don't know, 3 o'clock my time.
Okay. Okay. So there's okay.
And
it
I
really-
don't know if where I am even in spirit. I'm like, because I've been checking and I'm like, I wonder if I did a bunch of healing, because there were things that I had no recollection of. And I was out for 45 minutes, even
Dang.
actually longer.
All
but I
right,
was
Spirit, where do you want to
45
begin on this? They said, what we're going to start doing first is this. Okay, now it's interesting because I'm feeling my joints hurt. I'm feeling restrictions. I'm feeling the way that your story was written, that you were forced to readjust. I can feel that I don't feel like you're fully on your axis yet, but that's okay. We'll get you to what we can. I feel there is, oh shit, when you were down, was somebody around like in hysteria, upset? Really
Yes,
upset?
yes.
Okay,
My significant other found me. I was actually seizing for 15 minutes at the time that my significant other found me, and I was actually holding myself up onto the couch, essentially, or the love seat, so I wouldn't fall off
Yep.
so I wouldn't fall
Okay.
off.
So then this is what's happening is that his hysteria is in your space.
Okay.
You absorbed it because you were trying to hang on to things. And that also was the energy field. As I'm feeling that, I feel all of a sudden that you went to hang on, but you couldn't feel like you can find anything. So there was nothing really to trust to hold on to, because I'm really having a hard time grabbing. And they said that you felt helpless, but you felt his helpless because he couldn't help you, that the state that you were in was like a real shocker and a half. So the helplessness is that all of a sudden it just, you feel, oh, hold on, my face just distorted.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I just try to make sure my face doesn't really go off kilter here. Well, I'm looking at a major incompatibility. There's at least 5 fractures that I'm looking at energetically.
Oh, and then the other thing is that I've also, within the last 2 weeks prior to the seizure, I chipped my foot, my good foot, by rolling my ankle, and then my grandfather, who's now in rehab, had gone into the hospital, give or take 2 weeks, within two to 3 weeks ago. So it's
Wow.
like I've had
Yes.
boom, 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 boom.
Now I'm looking at what triggered this. And I'm looking at the nerves. I'm looking at the readjustment issue that's there. But I'm looking at also the incompatibility, and there was a lot of contempt. Now I can't see, it's like a cloud. I don't see it. Usually I can find direction. So
Mhm.
in this case, I'm going to just say, all right, Spirit, give us a little bit more detail. And in this case, the word contempt is feeling that a person or a thing is worthless or beneath consideration. Okay, I'm gonna just say, you tell me whether you've seen it or you've done it or you've witnessed it. It could be just from a TV. I mean, you're in an interesting bubble of energy right now, so I have to
Sorry.
break it down. Scorn, was anybody scorned?
I can see
Anybody?
that, yes.
Okay, so I'm watching that, so now that kind of started dissipating. There was a lot of disrespect that I can see over here.
I can see that, yes.
Okay, and then this part by your mouth is like there's all this neglect. Do you see what I'm saying? And I
Yeah.
feel like, did you have words prior, just prior? Do you remember anything just prior before you went?
No, because I was asleep, but I could see prior to me falling asleep, like because I was asleep and then I woke up and I
Right.
realized I was going into it. And
Okay.
prior to me falling asleep, or at least the day before me falling asleep, or the day before my
Yeah.
seizure, the Friday, yes, I have had words. I've been
Okay.
having words.
Now, does
in the
those
last-
words have
yeah.
anything to do with the fact about you moving forward and doing something?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to, there's a 3-part here. I got to figure this out.
What is going?
Because-
Whoa.
What?
Something's going on my sacral.
That's funny.
Solar. Sorry, solar.
Okay. All right. All right. So what I'm looking at is that you're really telling me a story, and it has to do with, I don't know who I really am. I'm kind of connected to people on the outside to help me define that. As you're starting to kind of find who you are, then I'm looking at how the center of your body is saying that I don't know how to really. Okay, this has to do with the way the energy runs around the heart. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And as you are learning how to be you, well, there's this contempt of energy, and you started collecting it at 3. Okay. And then another. Okay, so you've been collecting. It's not that it evaded or you absorbed. You've been collecting, and I don't. And so this is very strong words. So
it's funny that you say 3 because that's when my parents got divorced.
Okay, so what happened then at 13?
I moved out of my I was in an abusive situation by what I would call an ex-stepmom.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is that my dad had gotten married to my mom, divorced my mom, married a woman, I'll just say that, divorced her, which is my ex-stepmom, and then my stepmom now.
All right,
So
I see a
both my
lofty
parents have
energy.
been divorced
Right.
and married
Okay.
3 times.
So I can see this lofty energy, and you can feel the contempt. Again, you're collecting. You're collecting. And they said that you've been holding on. And just recently, you've been wanting to move forward. But you can't move forward if you have uncollected all of this contempt. So there's something that has to release these things from the past. Do you understand?
Yeah.
But you're not wanting to do that to some degree. So what happens is, now that you're becoming aware of it, you need to be able to say, okay, yes, I'm going to have to go in and just release all this contempt, because whoever you were speaking to about moving forward, your body said, oh, hell no. Now you may be fighting consciously saying, I want to do it, but your body said, oh, hell no, because I got proof you can't.
And it has nothing to do with my meds.
your meds, is the meds causing it? Is it playing a part of it? I'm getting no. Okay, your meds have a lot to do with everything, but it's screwing with the way that you're seeing and feeling. But
Okay.
ultimately, it goes back to that it's part of why you have to go through what you're going through. So it's you needed it to go through it. The problem is that you've got all of this energy you've collected. It's not yours. Well,
How
I'll put it
the
this way.
hell? Sorry.
No,
My
it's
bad.
fine. You have collected everybody's
I'm
stuff.
like I said,
It's
I'm
like, I'm not going to
80%,
give
so
it. It's like you going, I've got it now. You're not getting this shit back because I know you'll hurt me with it. But the problem is, it's every time you're like sat there and thought of your stepmom. And then you rehearse all the stuff that's happening. You have told your body that you are that person. If I were to be there in front of you and muscle test, you are not Autumn. You are not Autumn. You are not Autumn. Do you understand? I can see that. That's why when I'm looking, I see that you are at least 6 people. They're not possessions. They're not possessions. It's the way you think about these people and the way you're holding on to how they hurt you. And you're like, nope, I'm holding it here so you can't harm me.
yeah.
You understand? Okay.
Uh-huh.
So this is part of your body armor. The only problem is the Autumn that wants to spiritually evolve. Yeah, you can't take that with you. Does this make sense?
Yeah. Did I do a
Okay.
bunch of healing when I went out? Because I was out for 45 minutes and then I ended up, I'm guessing, waking up and being unaware because I ended up doing a bunch of goofy things
Okay. You were
in the
trying to
hospital.
I'm looking, I said, when you were out, did you do healing? They said, when you were out, you were in the reactionary state of all of those feelings and those stages. Okay. And I'm watching you repeat this. And I said, when you come back, they go, you were trying to reanimate who you are with a different strategy. So it's kind of like when you decide to come back in, you didn't want to come back in with those. So yes, there was a form of healing. Okay. But this is readjusting and you're still saying, so I know the time's up, but I'm just going to give you something here. Let's get your body to come back into alignment a little bit more so that you can start on that next part of your journey.
Yeah.
I said, what do you want her to do? They said they want her to do both sides. You're going to use a magnet because the story to which you are is being like this. It's holding in place. So use your magnet or your hand, whatever it is that you want to use. You're going to end up doing both sides and it will be this point. Now do what you can, because I know that you have, you found a way to do it, like in your mind.
Right.
Okay. So let's get those take care of right now. You got to do both sides over that point. Okay. So she's going to get this done and wow. Just doing that alone, my head's now not sitting here. It's going to start going in the whole head. Jesus.
What's going on with my eye? My left eye is weird.
Well, right now, your energy of your brain is not doing everything like it's supposed to. So what's happening is that you're vibrating. It's so weird because your brain wave is one way, the vibration of something else. And it's like you have this thing right here and it's going all the way around. And it's like, that's what's making me really feel dizzy and weird. But at the same time, I feel like my head's open. So now just make sure you get in there and rub it. Make sure you get in there and rub it. Oops, I lost my screen. And just get in there and rub it and do what you can. Let me get back to my, well, I lost the screen. That's okay. No big deal. Now you got that and you've done both sides. You're starting to feel better. My right ear is doing something really weird. It's okay. This is the hysteria of how you felt, that he felt, I mean. And so now I want you to start to feel him stay in your mind. You kind of have a picture of how he felt hysterical, right? So as you're rubbing these, just kind of imagine that he's calming down. He's like, okay. Because I know you've seen him feel better after, okay. You didn't have a nosebleed or anything, did you?
No, but I did. I will say I did use the restroom 4 times on the bed.
Okay. So
I will say
something,
that.
okay. So all I can, oh, there you go. Hold on. My body is now twisting and doing, oh, it's just doing a visceral respect. Okay. Oh, hold on. Fudge. Okay, where do you want it to go? All right. Right side only. You're going to go down to the,
But
yep. And you're going to do that point right there.
okay.
Make sure you use a magnet because we're trying to balance.
Oh, I'm
story.
just, I don't have a magnet on me, but
Use
I
your
do.
hand. Use your hand.
I am.
Okay. So get that, and then after that, rub it. Because man, I'm gonna tell you, my whole back is distorted. My here's my adrenals, right? No, they're like, my spine is like whoop whoop, and so my adrenals feel like this, and everything's pinching, and I'm like, what? So then that's causing. Oh, it's so the dura mater is not sending the signals up and down the spine like it's supposed to.
Yeah, no, I was kind of torqued because I didn't want to fall off the couch.
Well, yeah, and that nerve, the way the meridians were speaking, they were torquing you. I mean, woo.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And the thing is that like Monday night when I came home, I actually woke up and had to get up at least 2 or 3 times because my ribs hurt.
Well, I can see why. Those things are very uncomfortable. Okay, so now the power of you wanting to move forward. I felt like you were told no. It's like, I think somebody said no to you, or you heard a no. Is anybody preventing you in a way that that you can't move forward? In the last conversation you had,
In
with
a
whoever it
sense,
is.
yes.
Okay, now I'm
I
going to
mean,
tell you why.
not
Right, I'm going to tell you why it's even more, even though it's a yes or no, they don't want you to move forward. They had an opinion. You have everybody else's opinion from the past, remember, you're holding on to, which made this stronger in the body. So your body said, don't tell me no, even though that may not have been the attitude here. The attitude here was like, put them up, put them up.
Oh,
okay?
I know exactly what you're talking
Okay,
about.
so the body is acting really that way. So what we're going to have you do now is we're going to have you do the right side. Do you want her to do the magnet? No. So you're going to just take the right side and you're going to go underneath the thumb and rub that point right there. Ah. Okay, somehow that's hooked to your stomach.
And
so
thank you for whoever gave me the
Melody.
for it. I am really.
All right, so now you're going to go down here. Just go down to the second one and rub that one now because your stomach's involved. Mm. Wow. Almost need a back brace. This is really weird. Oh man, I'll tell you, the meridian points on the side of my body, it's like they're like
Oh, I can
shredded.
feel them. I can feel it. Yeah.
Okay, that's stabilized a little bit more. And then we're going to help you understand. So what they're telling me is a lot of self-loathing, a lot of false realities, a lot of fighting, but they're so piled on together. It's like this big energy. Do you remember from Charlie Brown? Do you remember Charlie Brown? And there was Pigpen that had this big stinky smell around him.
I think so.
Okay, well, anyways, you have this big energy around you and it's not even your shit. Because literally it's toxic. Like, I'm coughing.
I wonder, yeah.
Okay,
Yep,
but
I
again,
have an idea of whose it is.
But you're also holding, and we got to teach you not to hold.
I've been, and the thing is I've been grounding.
Right. It doesn't matter if you're grounding, because it doesn't matter if you're grounding. This was your identity for so long.
Oh.
And how can you be the new you? Your old personality has got to go. It's going to cost you your old personality to have a new reality, because your new personality is what creates that.
Okay.
Okay. So they said at this point, your body has shifted, your mind has shifted. I don't feel that this is happening. I feel like your whole head's now starting to function.
My eye still feels a little weird.
Right.
But
You don't trust. Anyway, keep going.
probably because, yeah, because I've had so many letdowns in my life
Mm-hmm.
that it is hard to trust.
Okay, so left side, just go to in the middle. Go in the middle.
Okay. Yeah. It
Okay.
is hard to trust because of how many.
Right, and you notice if you hold your head, which eye do you have that's like, I feel like because if I'm looking at you straight forward, but if I'm going to tilt my head, I'm going to look at you with one eye is to say, I've got my eye on you. Which
Yeah.
eye, when you're talking to somebody, I want you to notice if you do that, because then you'll start to notice what that eye is really trying to say to you. Or it's got your body, the messenger is telling you something else.
Okay, because
Okay.
yeah, I thought it was meds because I dropped one med and didn't pick up another, and I thought it was that.
Like I said, it can influence it, it can affect it, but you're pure energy, and now we're learning how that they're all communicate together. I want you to tell me, do you feel any better in the head?
A little bit, yeah. I do.
Okay. Now, here's the thing. You've got your body. I'm asking if it's ready to let go of the contempt. And it says, no. I says, because this is the only way I know how to survive. I says, well, what the heck are you going to let her to do so she can get on the road of recovery? And they said, you got to stop believing in rejection. Okay. You got to stop people who are rejecting you. And then you got to turn around and say, I got to stop rejecting them. But don't do that one yet, because that's your safety guard. Your
That's kind of
eye
funny that
saying,
you said that,
yeah.
because I've been feeling like I've been rejected by a couple of my friends.
There you go. And the thing is that this is a story. This is a story. And your body is repeating over and over. It says, where would you like her to hold to get out of that rejection? Okay. So on your time, the way you look at it, remember to measure it. And you're going to hold right wrist, first position, soft. Okay.
Okay.
And you're going to work on that. And that's your homework, because you got to transform your consciousness, because your body is like going, okay.
And my body's holding, but my mind's trying to go.
Yeah, and you need body, mind, and spirit. Because as you're listening more to your spirit, you'll go back to sleep too fast. And then as you try to wake up and do things, and you go right back. And then you got people that you have toxic energies. Some of them love to manipulate you. Some of them want to be that superior. I don't know who it is. You have to watch how it's about manipulation. They want to be your God. I don't know how else to explain it. That's not what I want to say either. They sound good.
Mm-hmm.
But in a way, I feel, what is that feeling? God, you got like
Dread.
Ooh, your nerves when you're around this person, you can feel their lofty energy. You can feel that you can't really trust them. And you can see that a lot of times in an ego, even though they sound very spiritual.
I wonder.
All I can tell you is that you're also petrified of really saying anything, because you don't want to be cursed by the words, her words, it must be her, or at least they're showing the feminine aspect. It could be a male. They're not giving me any of the details except for your feeling of, but anyways, why did that come up? Because I can feel your one adrenal back there.
Yeah.
And it's like feels like it's on fire, that if you stand up and say anything, it's like, you can't live without me type.
I know exactly who you're talking about, and I don't know how to change. I've been trying to figure out how to be around this person, because I do care about this person, and that was the person that actually found me. If he didn't find me, I would be gone, essentially.
Okay, so something about rejection. Go back to that word. Just go back to that word, rejection.
Rejection with him?
Well, it's something to do. You don't want to be rejected, or you don't want to reject him, or you don't want, there's something about rejection.
I think it's rejecting, yeah.
Again, it goes back to the story. So it may be filtering and confusing this relationship. You don't need past shit to interfere with relationships.
Yeah.
Do you understand? That's where we're going with that. That's what they're telling me. But you got to just take and break down, like I said, the simplest of rejections to the biggest thing, rejections. They don't want you just to look at one and go, that's rejection. It's like pepper through your whole thing. Somehow, just re-listen to this again and understand what I'm talking about. And then just start to say, thank you, Spirit, for you can just, oh, I just watched a TV show about rejection. It's not even about me, but I can feel it. Hold it, because your body is trying to tell you on a whisper how to heal it out.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm gonna let you go, and thank you so much for coming on, and please
Thank you
keep healing.
so much.
Okay, you're welcome, honey. All right, bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
All right, there's a lot we can do there. Is anybody else in the room that I have missed that wants a quick one-minute read? Let's see. I have to find the right screen. I've lost my one screen. That's okay. Okay. Okay, so that's fine. We will take, and I will work with Elle because she has paid, but I will take care of that. And if you have paid, and if anything ever happens, don't worry. You know, I could usually take it on the next show, but I know that this person needs it, so I will do something private off the air and just send it to her, because I can do that. So that's what I will do. I'll just do it. Well, Spirit says, hold on. Do you want me to do it now without her? Weird. Because I could just finish this right now instead of having you come back with it. Spirit, do you want me to do a private one that just send it to her? No. Do you want me to do it now? Well, I can't play it that way. Which way do you want it to go? Okay. Spirit is lining up the energies. I am supposed to give this right now to her, and we'll just put that at the end. Okay. Okay, we're going back to suspicious. Okay. I don't know. I feel like I'm on another island. And like, let's say if I take my ring off, something bad's going to happen to me. So I have, what is that called? Suspicious? No, suspicions? No. Tell me what that word is, people. It's like, I can't walk under a ladder. What is that? Okay. But for you, there's something in very particular that you can't stop doing, or you think something bad is going to happen. And this is part of the thinking. Now I'm going back to when you're 6 years old, and it was like your nerves are attracting in that you are really shy. So you keep bringing, oh, my head is spinning so bad. Is it the medicine? No, I don't know how to be encouraged. So I'm listening to the bones in your body at this point. As we're talking to the bones says there's an impending doom. I said, when? 6 years old. And I said, impending doom. They said, yes. I feel like I've learned how to live, but my body is telling me. My body doesn't, it feels like it's not strong enough. It's something's happening. And I said, well, is the spirit in the body? They said, I keep chasing, and I'm holding on to. So I keep running around because I feel timid. I feel discouraged. I said, what do you want me to do? They said, well, besides tell the story, they said, have her notice that she is stuck in a response. I said, fight, flight, freeze, fawn. That's a combination of all four. You've lost a lot. Yeah, she did. She lost a lot of weight. And they said they want her to go into, well, God, give me a key, because she can't go in unless we have a key. Something to do with bitterness. You have bitterness. So when you look at bitterness, it's about disappointment and anger. Now, whether it's yours or somebody else's, I want you to take, and I want you to cover your, I want you to cover up your left eye. Okay. And strangely enough, as you're looking to your right, I want you to look up to your upper left. And I want you to remember. And they said, you may not notice it right off the bat, but there's a certain amount of bitterness. And I said, tell me more. And they said, it's helplessness. I said, so like the state she's in now, she's helpless. Yes, she can use that as a good memory right now, but at that point she was helpless. And then they want you to just kind of measure it. Just sit there and measure it, and you start to remove, transcend, and let it go, and then switch your eye up over to the upper right and see if there's any bitterness there, and measure it. I feel like there could be something different, and then you're going to take, and then you're going to remove, transcend, and let it go, and you're going to switch hands, and you're going to go up to the upper left, and you're going to measure it again with that eye. They want you to keep doing this over and over. Remove, transcend, and let it go, and then they want you to look straight down to the lower right, and they want you to just stare at it and look and measure bitterness. Remove, transcend, and let it go. Then they want you to swap back and forth with the eyes, and then they said just kind of notice the bitterness and measure where it's at. And keep, now doesn't matter where your eyes go, just keep looking at it, measure, remove, transcend, let it go, switch over, keep looking at it, same story, move, transcend, let it go, keep doing it back and forth. You may have to pause this, back and forth. And then when you've gotten to that point that you don't really see the bitterness, they said they want you to do it again with helplessness. It's like your body remembers how helpless it was on a very specific day, that it keeps repeating the helpless state, not the mind, but the body's doing a helpless state. And I says, tell me more. And they said, well, it has to do with how the liver, organ, meridian, how the liver is holding these, how many? One particular emotion, and that it's like, it's unfair. It's unfair. And it is sitting and invading that part of your body. See, that's not meant to be there. That emotion's not meant to be there. It's supposed to be like a gallbladder thing. But you're having a hard time as that young child discerning, why is this happening? Why is this happening? So I feel like you do barter thinking or omen thinking. If this happens, then this happens. There's something to do with your thinking. They said, if you can look at your thinking style and say, wait a minute, do I really, 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 really need to do this? Then they said, when you're ready, you can hold L1D and notice that that was a coping tool. It no longer serves you. It's actually not very helpful for you. So you're going to hold left wrist, first position deep. And you're going to look at that. But you really have got to see the way that coping tool, the way that you think, the way that you feel is. Because without realizing it, you have to do that because you feel like the feeling that, oh my God, the action's on. And I said, so you have a twang 24. Yes, it's constantly there. I said, can we do something? They said, yes. If we were to look at just what lofty means, that energy of how a person uses their force field, whether it's up close or a distance, that is there. And then you just, your body, it's like my lower half is like, I'm an impending doom. And so I don't feel like your spirit is in your bones the way they need to be, because your body is saying, this is hell. So you can't self-actualize. See, so your mind is here, your body's here, and they're not communicating. They're saying two different stories. And I says, well, how do you want her to get them so that they can start to communicate? They want you to hold R3D, because there's a part of you that's afraid and the fear of being bold, because I know what being discouraged means. And as I start to feel discouraged and I do it anyway, I somehow get hurt. That's the story I'm hearing. Because I mean, my shoulders are up to my ears, my back is stuck. So you haven't figured out how to breathe and just let it go down, because your body is still in this state. Okay. And the part of you says, oh my God. And this is where now your mind's not included, because it's like, I got to give up expectations, because the next fear of twang comes in, and it comes like almost an illogical, logical reasoning. And then they said, try to do L1S, because you have to give up on your friends. You have to give up on you being a friend. You have to give up on, that's what you're taught. And as you start to heal this out, I want you to just start calling yourself back home. I need you to say your name, the way you want it. You have got to claim you, because at this point, you're not. You're not. And when you go back to do this healing, and when you're just about ready to be done, say, no, just stop and say, I am. Remember to measure everything. You've got to follow through. And then you say, I am. I am. Just whoever it is, claim yourself as this. Okay. Claim it. Okay. So there was a mix up of something going on earlier, which again, I thought was weird. I'm going to ask Spirit more about it. Okay. I don't know what it was. So as I'm looking at Nancy Burke and Angela Allen Hudson, the cold, I believe when I gave a reading to Nancy Burke, so I'll have to look later because I may have done them separately and been totally fine about it. But somehow there's an intertwining of this, which really doesn't make any sense to me. So to be fair, I feel like I gave Angela Allen another one, and I'll ask my time stamper. So I want to finish up by giving one to Nancy Burke again. All right, Miss Nancy. Now, yeah, that's clearly you now. I can see it. Something about love and love again and vulnerability. And we are looking at how, oh, wow, this is so weird. The holding on to feeling discouraged, and you have to give yourself reinforcements that you are loved. And that when it comes to friends, when it comes to this, it's like you can give love, but you're not sure if you're really getting the love back. But I feel like there's a wall that says, I don't know how to really get the love back. And it's that scared little child that's in the hell loop. And they're pointing out about how it has to do with your purpose. And so you have been taught as little that what's important, okay, what's important to you is a purpose. But what's important is that other people have told you what's important. And you've been sitting there for so long going, yeah, that's important, that's important. But if you were to ask what's important to Nancy, what's important for me, Nancy Burke, make sure it's Nancy's, not that person's, that person's, that person's, that person's. You're starting to wanting to find out whether or not who's Nancy. Okay, you've got this. All right, you guys have been great. I see that everybody in the room, I think, has got a reading. You guys have been very helpful, very loving. And without you, I wouldn't be able to do my purpose. So let's do this together. Let's grow together. Let's rise together in this new level of consciousness. We can do this, people. We really can. So stick with me. If you're not in tribe, join it. That's fresh of the first of the month. And if you want to move forward with me in any other way, understand with Academy or any of that, this is one of the requirements is that you're going to have to be in tribal, because we got to get you to get to that white belt stage. Get in there and get your feet wet. Get in there and start to transform. There are so many good things that are happening in there. It's not a mamby-pamby tribe. This is really deep about opening you up, healing you, helping you learn that you're empowered, that you've got the power to do all of this all the time. And this will help you to be accountable. This will help you if you want it. Now, but if you just want to be on tribal and not do much, that's fine. It's for those that are at that slow pace. But for those that want to move forward with me, this will be part of where you'll be needing to be so that you always practice the good, that beginning steps. We want to make sure that you can evolve these different levels of who you are. And the more you get it and you embody it, not just mouth it, you're transforming all the parts of you. So then you'll really learn how to resolve, to evolve. You will really learn how to heal instead of deal. You'll look at things and say, I can heal that with an empowering statement. You'll start to notice you can heal that. We don't have to be stuck in this. We can create a mandala. You can go a step further and just realize when I do heal, I need to really feel it. So you may have to learn how to amp you and ramp yourself, but don't do it without a tool. You do not need to fire and wire yourself back into hell. We're doing our best to break the hell loops. When in doubt, grab a tool, heal it out, because I know you're worth it. I want you to wake up to one day and begin to notice that you can say, yeah, I am worth it. You want to know why? Because I remember Brenda telling me a story that when she felt blessed, she climbed out of wherever it was because she knew that she couldn't take that away. She was blessed and she was going to use it. I know I'm blessed. I can look back at all the little things that I thought I wasn't, but Spirit had actually had my back. And if I start looking at those, I'm going to build on myself up and I can get out of that hole. And I can turn around and say, you know what? That bad thing may have happened, but look at here. I was blessed and I am blessed. So do your best to stay blessed. Bye.